Welcome to today's show. I am Brenda Jean Power. This is Medicine Woman Solution, and I am here to help you navigate life, to not just deal with it, to give you tools to heal it. Now, I, you know, how do we show up? First of all, did I even comb my hair today? Not sure. Um, just how do we prepare? How do we take care of ourselves? Do we care for the way we look? Can we improvise? What can we do? I know when I had kids, all of a sudden it just looks went to the wayside, and we put a lot of emphasis on look. But how about when we show up to do things? Do we look like we care? Does it look like anything else? I got to do one little thing because just one little thing. That's it. Hold on. There we go. Okay. What do we do? If we show up looking like crap, somebody's going to bitch here. If somebody says that you put on too much makeup, somebody's going to bitch here. That's none of your business. Don't let that be your barometer. One of the things that I had to do was that I had to learn to love my soul, to get into that space where how can I see a different perspective than being controlled by the outside. Oftentimes you'll see me draw this, and this means it's on the outside. We're controlled by the outside. So this reminds me of a story of the young kid, the old man, and a donkey. And how do we grow? How do we go and navigate our life? What is right? What is wrong? How do we get there? How do we do it? Well, this old man and this child and this donkey, they set out to travel. And along that way, they're all walking side by side, and they get to a town, and an opinion appears as fact. Oh my God, you old man, you are so cruel. You are so mean. Oh my God, that young boy, it's cruel. Call child abuse. Now, that's an opinion. That is a conclusion based on this woman's experience, not necessarily the experience of this old man's life. Was he really abusing that child? Well, he second guessed himself. He made himself, he's like, oh my God, I agree with her. So he gave his power away to this woman and this town that said that it was wrong. And is like, what do we do? What do we do? So the old man at first wasn't going to do anything, and he's feeling paranoid. His energies are down. He's taking all these conclusions and these, what do you want to call it? These collective thoughts. And he felt emotionally that he was wrong. And finally, he's like, he's either going to resist and it's going to persist, or what is this? So what did this old man do wrong? Well, according to the town, it was child abuse. Here's clearly a good donkey. You could put the child on the donkey instead of making him walk. Okay. So he does that, and everybody's satisfied. And he's like, okay, I did the right thing. Then he goes into the next town. And the donkey is carrying the boy. And he goes to the next town, and then the next town has their opinion with their perspectives and their filters. And what they found out was, oh my God, that I cannot believe. Now, this is people's emotions. They're not giving you roses. They're throwing darts and sickles and axes, and the emotions that are coming off of these people. How dare that boy? You're young. You should be having exercise. You should be doing this. This man's old. Again, see, we're coming to a lot of conclusions here. This man is old. You need to get off, put the old man onto that donkey, because that's the right way to do it. and the emotions and all the opinions that were collective and have just taken over. The energy went into their fields and they, oh my God, this is the right thing to do. Oh my God, I feel the shame and the guilt. And so then the weight gets off, the old man gets on, and they're like, okay, that's the right thing to do. And they're very confused because they thought the other way was right. Okay. So there's not one right way correctly. And not everything's truth. It's sometimes opinions, factual opinions, but still in the end, it's still an opinion. So anyways, they leave that town and the old man's on the donkey and the boy is walking and they go to another town. And all of a sudden they get greeted with more axes and more opinions and more, I'm not talking about real axes. I'm talking about energy that comes off of people. And it hurts. Gestures. Good. Okay. Words. Shame. Oh my God, you disappoint me. And this time they're looking at each other like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What is what most of you do when you start feeling other people's opinions? What did I do wrong? I need to correct this. It's that compulsion. This is the stuff we look at. What did I do wrong? And they're like, you guys are so stupid. Oh my God, I can't believe you don't see it. Now, a lot of arrogance are flying around. And they're looking and they're like, could you at least give us some insight? Well, why aren't you both on that donkey? That donkey is made to carry you. Oh, yeah, that's an option. Oh, God, yeah. And they were shaming them and guilting them, calling them stupid. What an idiot. I mean, everything you can imagine. So, yeah, okay. Again, easily influenced. What do we do when we take in new information? Which one's correct? Well, we forget to explore. We forget to be a resolver and that we have options and opinions. But sometimes we get persuaded and thinking that's the only one. So they both are on that donkey. Now, neither one of them really want to be caught because it could happen again in the next town. This feels right. Let's both be on the donkey because that makes perfect sense. Instead of saying, hey, let's all take turns, it's like, oh, okay, no. I don't want the next town folks to see that we're not on the donkey because that would be so embarrassing. And if the boy's on it and I'm not, then this could happen. And then if a man's on it and the boy's not, this could happen. And all of this swirling around of wishy-washy indecisiveness is based on what? Other people's opinions. Instead of taking all of them and using them in your tool belt. So they get to the next town. So they both are riding on this donkey and they think, yeah, I finally got it right. The right way to do it. So they're traveling along and they're doing just great. And then they get to another town. And these people's opinions are about animals. How dare you destroy that animal? It's not your workhorse. How dare you? How dare you? Yelling and screaming, throwing their opinions as facts, as truths, and that they have to live their way and they can't live their own way because that's the wrong way. And everybody's fighting about what's supposed to be what. Again, they weren't greeted with roses or love. They were greeted with pains and aches and emotions flying all over the place. And they're the shame of the town and get out of our town. And oh my God. So they decided, okay, we're going to get off. We're going to carry the donkey because we've tortured it. And they're going, and it's a really bad stormy day. And so they get to this bridge and they think, okay, you know what? We can do it. And so they're carrying this donkey across this bridge and the wind blew so hard that the bridge rocked. And oh my God, there goes the donkey. They lost control of the donkey and the donkey falls into the river. What's the moral of the story? What's the moral of the story? You can't believe everything everybody says. You could eventually lose your own ass. Look at life as a catalog. It's a catalog of life. Okay. Look at a life as a catalog. There are different options, filters, perspectives that show us that we can maybe one day take turns and care and give love to all three, and the boy and the donkey and the old man, everybody, there is an ecosystem that you can do with one another and with great love and joy and support. It's not one or the other. Life isn't a straight line. It is actually a spiral. So when you allow yourself to hear opinions of others, is it really right? Or can you say, thank you, that's a catalog. It's a new perspective. Do I want it? Those Christmas catalogs when we were younger, it tells you how old I am. We get so excited. We want this, and my sister wants that. Well, I want it too. Or you're like, no, oh, that's a boys thing. I'd never get boys things. Or, oh, that's a boys thing. Or we don't even look at it. We just know we want it. Somebody says that's a boys thing. So, okay, whatever. The point is that we didn't choose everything in the catalog. We chose what we liked. We chose what inspired us. So when I see people doing these beautiful things for other people, that inspires me. So just for everybody in Facebook, yes, Karen Ann, people get quiet when I talk because they're listening. So yes, this is live. This is live. I'm live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and live on Facebook. So when you have that catalog of life, this is a Medicine Woman Solutions glossary word. And that catalog of life is so important because instead of saying someone else has taken it, I can't have it, you can get out of that old paradigm, because that way of thinking was not in this fifth dimension. That is, we have to mature the soul. So that phrase does not belong in the new part of who we are. Okay. So as we grow older, we begin to become wiser, but we have all these roots that we don't take care of, or we don't see any other way except for, this is all I know. This is all I know. So open up that catalog and start to use your spiritual self of seeing options. Oh, I love that color on that person. I wonder if it'll look good on me. Go try it. And you'd be surprised. It might work. Or, oh, I really want to study that. But if you go, oh, I can't because I'm too old, that's the old paradigm thinking. Get out of that, heal that out. Stop believing that. You can say, I desire that. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go look it up. I'm going to take care of this situation. I'm going to explore. I'm not going to do the I can'ts, the self-imposed limitations, the arrested developments. I'm going to bust through. This breaks and changes right here. I don't have to do and believe all of that in the past. So when you start to listen to your soul and you start to listen with your spiritual self and your higher consciousness, this is where I will not only help you, teach you with different glossary words, but I will also teach you about the options that you can't see. It isn't, well, you're not doing it. No, there's really no shame or guilt here. This is about when, if your brain is going, out of polarity and you just keep running down the same track, we can disrupt that so that you can get more clarity about who you are. People will come to me and they're just emotionally exhausted. And it's like, okay, would you like a little reprieve? Yes. All right. I'm going to show you how to heal yourself. Now, with a little guidance, I will help you dig to some of these things that are deeper. Yes, I will teach you how to feed yourself. I will teach you how to use the tools in the toolbox. I will teach you that you don't have to get a tool and think that I better not use it or I'll lose it. Or I get a tool and I will, oh my God, I got to hide it. No. Or I use a tool, but I don't know anything about that tool. You don't have to play these games with yourself. Don't be afraid. Fear is what gets in the way. Disrupt that fear. Use the body as the innate wisdom that it is, that puts you together. It knows how to heal you. And your spirit has all of the tools that can help you. So you start working with that higher self and saying, okay, thank you for helping me heal. Thank you for this new information. So the world's changing. Okay, civilization's changing. This is one of the things you have to keep looking for. But civilization and the world is working together. So today, every day I always say, show me the things, but here's hell, but show me a peak of that hope that we're going to make it. And then all of a sudden, Spirit's like, listen, listen. And so today, I don't really listen to the news, but I was walking through, getting dressed, and I heard, yes, we're taking old cooking oil and turning it into jet fuel, and people are using it right now. People are using it right now, and putting that type of cooking oil, converting it into a gas like for diesel, and they know how to convert it, and it puts it in the plane, and they've been flying with it. And I thought, awesome. Instead of one time it's used up, throw it, you now can repurpose it. You'll find that you can do many things. So that was like, yes, I could feel that the mandala was changing. Okay. So that means instead of one thing, that's a pretty picture. Stay like that forever. And if you understand mandala, you create it and then you let it go. And then you create something new and you let it go. And that's what we're doing, is we're creating and upgrading and changing all of the way we're doing things. So if you're new in the room, understand I give readings and I help you heal and I help you change and understand that you're doing the work. No one has to force you. You when you want to wake up, like people are like, well, this is what I see. This is what I see. I'll say, okay, rub some points, hold your head, be in your health. And I teach you, and all of a sudden clarity starts to come in. Okay, for those that have been with me, what is clarity? How do you get clarity? How do you know when you're out of your health? Karen says she needs a lot of change. That's the first step. Yeah, I need to change this. Instead of just going, oh my God, how? Because somebody will say surrender. Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, we can teach you how. But when you physically feel that you and your body are working together to release something, patterns, behaviors, and things like this, part of you has to wake up and lift the veil. And that means awareness is going to be something that's a big, big key for you to do. And with awareness and healing, it creates a witness. So people will come to me and they're all upset. Like Amy says, fear is what stops you from connecting with your higher consciousness and spirit. Yes, it will disconnect you just like that, and it'll keep you there. And you're thinking you're making the right decisions with yourself. But in the meantime, you're cut off and you have all these opinions from all these other people that you think are truths. And all of a sudden, you're easily influenced. You don't know what to do with your energy. You've given all your energy away. You don't even know it. You can take life by the hand and you can say, show me how to do this. And you literally can. I have an imagination on my back there. What do I mean by that? I felt this tingle on my back, and my imagination with fear says, oh, there's a spider there. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have to believe that. A lot of you will think that's truth and you'll run with it, and you can think hard and focus on it that you could cause yourself to become sick. Jerk, move, whatever. You're like, Now, take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my back right now. I'm feeling something. And not necessarily on the outside. I'm feeling the energies from the environment. And that can come from you guys. This can come from anywhere. It depends on how you are reading this space. And so for me, it's like, what is this? And I think it was just an example. But how do you change? And I was putting up TikTok and I just keep saying, do this, because you only got short amount of time to do. I have so much more. I mean, I'm watching all these people that talk about soul. I talk about soul all the time. Tori says, I have let fear keep me back. Yes. Now, how do you get ahead of that? Because it's become habit. It becomes your identity. Let's change this. Okay. How do I connect to do readings? Okay, so you're asking, how can you connect so you can do the reading? Well, you have to become first aware. Which mindset are you in? This is for everybody. When I began to notice that we live in a world of opposites, like if I used to be an extreme introvert, and so I would, be with somebody that seemed to be a little bit more extrovert. so that I didn't have to. I could like live vicariously through them. But that wasn't enough for me. I knew inside there was something more, but my fear wasn't going to let me through. And I would fire and wire again. No hands. What happens is, as you think, every human, if I were to sit there and I think, oh, look for the good in things, okay, and then I'll forget that. But if I were to say every day, look for the good of things, look for the good of things, look for the good of things, then your focus creates an electrical storm, and these synapses in your brain goes, hey, let's hardwire this so she can look for the good in things. Because so the first time it's like, oh yeah, think of it once, seen it once, oh, it misses. And what happens is that you have a thought. Just imagine that it's like your thoughts are these like a tree, and the thoughts are these leaves, and they fall, and the glial cell comes along and in your body comes along like a vacuum and cleans those up, and then you forget. And you're like, whatever. Well, with habit, you never forget. Homework, something that, like, I don't remember half the shit I learned in school. And I learned it to take the test, but I didn't bring it home. I didn't engage in it to the point where it immersed me. Meaning, as I started to study about the brain, about quantum physics, about the soul, understanding it, I engaged in it. I engaged in it so much that I was like, oh, I want this. So my emotions started to create a magnetic attraction, so that I would like, oh, I'm reading this one book, and I don't know where this came from, but it came from the universe. And then all of a sudden another book appeared, and I'm like, I'm easy to be able to see the energy. So I grab another book, and I'm like, I'm attracting these books in, which helped me to grow, because now I'm sitting there and I'm engaging and I'm loving. Just like when you read Harry Potter books or something like that, you're like, oh, you can't put it down, because you're firing and wiring with joy. So you don't have to always constantly think it over and over and over. But if you weren't emotionally attached to it, then, or feel the soul's urge to want to learn it, then you are not going to retain it. So as I'm reading Dispenza's books, I'm like, oh. So if you want to learn faster, you take the book, read, and see. I don't do it a chapter at a time. What did I tell my students? You need to paraphrase. Oh God, do I really have to? I mean, that reaction is something you need to heal, especially if you want to learn with me, because I'll take one page and I'll highlight what I need, because I learned to listen with spirit so that it pops out, so it stands out. And these are gems. Spirit wants me to understand. If I understand how to read, understand how the gems pop out, and then I write it down and paraphrase it, then people will say, well, how come you retain so much information? Well, one, I'm not doing it in the ego mindset where all of a sudden I'm cut off from spirit and I have to be emotionally in the shit shows, and I have that and worry and fear and drama. I can take my power off of that. Instead of survival mindset, ego mindset, I say, I don't need to over-identify with that. I don't have to have that particular personality or characteristics. I can become something else. So I'll pull myself out and I rise higher in my spiritual self. Instead of going, oh my God, you hurt my feelings, and spend weeks, months, 6 months later, why are you so upset? Well, she pissed me off. You can be your soul saying, you don't just have to be your emotional body. It's time to integrate all of your bodies, the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, the 4 ingredients to life. And you learn to raise up. And what happens there is you mature your soul. You allow yourself to have those level of consciousness, AKA chakras, but you learn why the yin, why the yang is so important, why they work together. Instead of being enemies, they can be in flow. Okay. So you're in sync. So when you allow yourself to begin to become aware, so as becoming a reader, as I started to realize that I don't have to be in a reaction, and I don't have to feel it and then take twain of pain. I don't have to be that. I took my power back, didn't invest it. And as I started to really heal the emotions, I stopped making chemical peptides that make me have the twangs of pains or take offense or be hurt. I didn't have to be controlled because I was out here. I came inside and I rose higher with my higher consciousness. As I began to rise higher with my higher consciousness, you can't just do it and go, I'm happy. And then all the roots of all the hells that are still kicking off saying, hey, it's 2:00. You got to be a bitch today. Because that's what you were when you had to save yourself when you were, 7 years old. Your littles are just as alive as you are right now. And so when you start creating integration with all of you end up changing who you are. This is why it's complicated, but it's not. The next time you have a negative thought, I challenge you to write it down. Oh, I believe it as 0 through 10, 10 being I really believe it. Put it down, sit there with your hand, top of your head, just let it rest. Your palm on your forehead, let it rest. And sit there up to 2 to 5 minutes, even up to 10 if necessary, and just focus on the hell of that sentence. And what happens? Well, I can tell you scientifically what happens. Is there proof scientifically? Energetically, I can tell you energetically what I see happen. And I'm not the only one. You are electromagnetic energy. Your electromagnetic being, the blood that was 100% supposed to be in your forehead, that to create your reality. You're no longer in charge of your reality. Stress is, fear is. 80% of that blood will go down to your limbs so you can go to fight, flight, freeze. But if you're not using that fight or flight or freeze, then you will have a big chemical buildup and a big chemical dump. And then you will then lash out or you'll surprisingly, hurt yourself. What is it all about? So allow yourself to begin to become more in charge of who you are. And how you do that is when you start to do this, when you're in a frenzy and you measure it, and your body starts doing the healing and you going, yeah, it did. Oh, it was a 10. And then it's like an 8. And then it's still there. Oh, yeah. Where'd it go? Well, I'm going to ask you, do you want it back? No. I mean, this would carry on for months. I just had a turnaround time. I actually ended the hell I was in. I did it. I feel better. My thoughts are clear. That is what you need to witness. You got your brain in you. Have to go, I want that desire to feel good. Again, I did it. Self-empowerment, self-care, self-reliance, And when you start to get into your spiritual mindset more and more and more, and when you start to crave that part of you, your brain's going to, it's taking and it fills in the next best guess. Like today, I'm in Australia, but I'm an American. And so I'm listening to USA Today, or whatever the show that is, get over here. And they're talking the US, blah, 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 blah. And then a commercial came afterwards and it said the SA. And my brain goes, oh, did they just say USA? And I started giggling because my husband says, I think your brain filled in the blanks and put the two together. And I'm like, yeah, it did. I'm like, oh, so you can see it. So this is what's going to happen. You have a chance to start to develop. You watch on my old videos. You watch The Spirit Speaks. You can start having insights. You watch the videos of how people heal, and you can start applying them to yourself. All right, so I'm looking at activity in the room, which means Spirit says wants me to open up my thing. And how we do things is when you paid, you do have an expedite to jump the queue. I do look at the room. If anybody's new in the room, let me know. And then you get not 1 minute, you get 2. And so we have 2 people. Let me look, and I haven't opened my mail in 2 days, so that might be yesterday's. No, we have Nikki, and then after Nikki is Paige. Paige, wonderful. Okay, so I will. You are in queue. So give me a minute. Who said they're new here? I see. Paige, because you're new, I'll just add it to your time when you come on. So instead of 8 minutes, you get 10. Okay, Paige, just so you know, because I think you're new, right? I think you're new. You look new to me, anyways. So let me just get to. We have Nikki, and we have Paige. Okay. Let me get the right screen here. I'm going to look over. So, hi. So, Leslie, Lee, okay, Lesa. I'm just going to say Leslie, Sheldrake, whatever. You're new. Would you like a quick reading? And then I'll look for all the people that are new. I think Tika Weidman, are you new? If you are new, this is where we're going to do this. Oh, long time ago? Okay, well, no problem. We'll enjoy ourselves when we get there, and I'm glad that you paid. That's wonderful. So, people, let me know. Yes, please. Excellent. That's what I need that permission. Okay, I'm like, where's my page? Well, I have it over here. So, okay. So, yes, I do use a pendulum. I use my intuition and everything else. All right, the first thing that seems, I feel like you're around the energy around your feet is there's all this contempt that it's like you go into a room and there's contempt. So whatever space you're in, I'm feeling that there's contempt. So I don't know if somebody just left their crap there, however it looks, but I look at the word contempt. Now, what I'm looking at is I'm feeling that the contempt energy is a way that it was trying to control you or control something or someone. So somebody is using their emotion to get a result. And if they're not getting the result, they create a rejection. So it's a feeling of rejection. You're also feeling, and what's happening with relationship is there's this energy pull. So you're in a relationship right now that it's like the power play. I feel a lot of frustration built up that you don't really want to respond a certain way, but you're like being pushed into responding. As I'm looking, you feel under pressure that you have to show up the way they want you to show up. And you're like, I don't want to. Tell me if this makes any sense. Because what I'm seeing is that you're going, here we go again. I'm just shutting down. I can't deal with this right now. So emotionally shutting down to that or to the person or to however it is. And when you can't shut down and you have to show it, you've also then reserved to withhold. You have to pull that energy back. You have to withhold. I can't really share any good news because you may fly off the top and you're going to think, oh, it's not about you. So you have to withhold yourself from actually being in this relationship. And you're just so tired of being let down. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, again, this reading is not just to give you words. You can do something about it. You just have to let me know. Thank you. Thor says, love this medicine woman. You can learn from other readings. If it resonates, you heal it. Heal it out. Absolutely. So thank you for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. And please comment back. I'm going to look into the room over here. Let's see. If anybody, like I said, anybody's new. Victoria Baker, I think I've read her once. I'm not sure. But while you're here, understand if you can't wait around, then you can always go to my fan page and just message me and say, 1 minute, please. And you'll get it. And so at the end of the show, and when everything gets put up, I put up a timestamp so that you come back and find it. Okay? And it's that, Liz, that's heavy. But is it true? Can you feel and see any of this? Because each one of these points can be read. See, like right now, Nancy Birch says, 1 minute, please. So I know she knows that she's going to get it regardless of when I do it. She's, I do my best to guarantee that she's going to get that. Okay. Leslie, you're used to feeling small, constantly feeling small, and that becomes a habit. And I can feel like you want to not have that kind of a reality anymore. And you can change this. A long time ago, so I thought. Okay, so I'm just going to open up that one room just real quick, and then I can see what's going on. That's not it, Brenda. Real quick. No, pull this one. There. Let's see. Nancy, Aaron. Yep, I see the regulars. That's awesome. Oh, somebody wrote me in the middle of the night. And it just came in now. Oh, Facebook. God, says it wrote at 2 a.m. my time. I didn't get it until just now because I've had this open. There's Nancy. How you doing, sweetheart? Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out, because now my adrenals, somebody's adrenals are going off like crazy. And I'm saying, is it anybody in the 1 minutes? No. Is somebody in the room? Yes. So my adrenals are hurting as if I just have an upper. Oh God, that hurts. It's like if you're a hairdresser and your arms are always up. There's always, it's usually the pain above, but somebody's adrenals. Somebody's body is so stressed. They won't feel stressed probably, but their body is saying it's completely stressed. It's getting my attention. Spirit wants me to communicate. So there's somebody new. As it is it in, okay, it's in TikTok land. Username Migs. Okay, I feel it's you. Did you want a reading? And if I know you're new, so I'll give you two. I'm asking, is it Patricia? Your body's doing it too, but you've been working on it, which is good, Patricia. I'll give a quick one to Patricia. I'll give her 1 minute, and that'll explain this. I need to. I feel like that's a yes from username Migs, but I got to know if you're still here, because I don't want to read anybody that's not here. So Patricia, let me explain about what's going on with you. Your body says that you got to keep tracking in. So are you still seeing loudmouth people? People that are in your space and your nose and in your business? Okay, yes. Right. So your body's like going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So we're going to look, why is this constantly happening? They said, well, first of all, around 4 years old, your soul had, you over-identified with matter with the reaction. And the reaction is that you felt irrational. It irritated you so bad of how they reacted that you're looking at your response. So they want you to heal your response. Notice that it makes you spin out. It makes you feel like things are unfair. So I'm going to tell you to help you get this out. So notice my response. Look at that picture. Grab left wrist, second position. Find it right there. Put your finger in nice and small, or nice and light. And then sit there, but capture that moment. See yourself in the third party. So disassociated instead of through your own eyes, to kind of look back and say, oh, I can see myself reacting. And it drives me irrational. It drives me crazy. Okay, that's where you're going to go. User Migs, yes, you are here. So I'll give you 2 minutes, darling. Easily. Spirit says, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Now, this song's coming in my head. I'm not sure exactly why, but usually when they do this, they want you to notice there's something there. They're telling me around 6 years old, constantly having to play things out over and over and over. But there's this action. It's like that your surroundings are telling you have to take action. You have to take action. I'm looking a little bit further. And as you're having to take action, you're sitting back going, I'm longing. Now, what does this do to your adrenals? It causes you to have this habit of being in a reaction. So your body's in a stress. As I'm looking, you had gone passive and hopefully it would stop. But there's people in your space that are constantly playing the energy pull games. Do you have alpha people around you? I don't feel like you're alpha. I feel like alpha people just think they can control you. Okay. This is what I feel. I feel that around 7 years old, the self-efficacy, the ability to get results, to do what you want to do, you're creating something. This is the result I want. You were criticized by it or slammed by such choice, whether it was another person your age, or teacher, a parent, anybody in society, from church, anybody. And it hurt. The reaction that they gave you was not what you wanted. You didn't want to hear that you did something bad. I didn't do that. It's like, but it's monotonous now. It's just like people think they can just say shit, and your body keeps going into it hurts. It hurts. Does this make any sense to you? Because I feel that if you're sitting there longing, and it's safer for you just to sit back and long instead of saying, I want to do this. It is the longing I want you to look at, and I want you to notice, is it true that you sit back and you long for something? Because in the law of attraction, longing means you'll never get it. So even though you feel like it's safe, that you're like, so know what I want you to do. Oh, longing's invading, rejecting. Okay. So you got two things happening. You're going to end up taking your left wrist, and you're going to hold that, find the second position by your fingers, and then put your thumb there, nice and soft. Don't push in. Finger here, wrap around, place your hand on top of your head, let it fall. You want this to touch your forehead. You're going to sit there. And I want you to notice that you're sitting back and you're longing, and measure on a scale from 0 to 10. Oh my God, I'm longing for that. And at the same time, you're going to go, I have to reject that out of my reality. I have to reject that out of my reality. So you're doing a tug of war right there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have to reject that out of my reality. And it's just based on an old end result when you were little. If you can get a grasp on those two things, longing, scale it from 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. I have to reject that in my reality, put it on the scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. And you can sit there and work on those two things and watch. And as long as you stay there, you're going to notice that the thoughts and the emotions start to go to 0. Gotcha? Okay. Now, Paige, did you want to do the reading right here, or did you want to do it and come live? You have the choice, Paige. Okay. Helping my daughter grab a pizza out of the oven. I hope you did not miss it. No, I want to make, yeah, you would good. So here's the thing. You get a choice. You have a choice. So usually with the ones that are bigger, I usually like to, give you a choice. You can come on live, and that's if you have Zoom, that you don't have to use video. You could just use audio. So you have an opportunity. If you want to do it just in the room, then I have no problem. We can do that right now. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to do this. I'll look down in just a second to see. I need to know if username Migs, did any of that make sense? Please, I'd like to have responses. Thank you for following me, and thank you for the gifts in the stars. You like my big pendulum? Yeah, I felt like I need to put a string on it or figure out how to make it move. Let's see here. Yes, there it is. So Linda asked. Yes, it is. It's a big one. And it's made for tea candles. And I felt like it needed to be on display. I had it in the corner, and then I changed my room around, of course. You want to download it right now? Excellent, Paige. So what I'll do is that as soon as you do, go to my fan page, write me and say, I'm here or whatever, and then I will send you a link there, and then you can come on, my dear. Excellent. I love the fact that it's speaking. Yes. It got its glory. It's got the day in light. Do you want, Howdy, would you like to do it, darling? Because you can, now if it comes on TikTok, then, because you can't really rewatch it again, but you can hear it on Facebook at any time or on YouTube anytime. So it's how would you like to show up, Nikki? It's up to you, darling. I should have it above my desk. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how I could do that. Okay, so I'm looking at the room, and I'm just going to start grabbing while I'm waiting for Paige, because I'm not seeing it there. So I will grab, no response. That's fine. I will grab Karen Ann, and 1 minute for you. Karen Ann, there's knots. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. And notice that if you've ever said that, notice the power in it's like, I'm not. Feel the self-imposed limitations, feel it all. It's like, okay. The why that they want you to point that out is because you have to go through, let's see, what are the 4? As part of the self-sabotage archetype that we are learning to go through. And you did that toward yourself. And it's when you had to become passive. The reason why you're not, you saying, I'm not going to do it, and you became passive, is because your soul had said that there was an emotional response to what you saw when you were about 3 years old, and it repulsed you. No. And it become one of your automatic responses now. What I'm looking at is that when you go into certain people's spaces, thank you for the roses. When you go into certain people's spaces, you can't help but to go and feel that knot. It's like, I don't know if I feel like it's anxiety or panic. Because you know you're going to have to overcompensate. You know it. And you feel it. Can you feel the temptation that I don't want to act this way, but it just happens? So there's an automatic response. I mean, really just coming into play. They said if you really wanted to wake up from this, is notice how you don't really want to be in certain situations. Okay. It's like, I don't want to. And because that I don't want to, it's the I don't, I can't, I won't. It's those knots. And then you can start doing left wrist, find that second position by using 2 fingers, get into it, push deep, sit there and go, and I want you to look right down. I'm not, I won't, I don't. Because that little part is interfering with things you do want, but you're supposed to respond with I don't want. It's part of a really strong auto response, just so you know. So go heal that out. Let's see. Meet you on TikTok. Wonderful. Okay, so just want to make sure. Now I'm going to take, and Nikki, you come first. Paige, I got to make sure Paige has even found it. So Nikki, if you're going to come on, let me know. I think we're still doing that. Okay, well, I'm going to find my guest anyway. And there she is. There she is. Nikki comes first because she had paid first, and then we will get to Paige. Okay. So, whoops. She's coming on. You can't see it, but you'll be able to hear her hopefully just fine. I'm going to make sure the volume is up. There we go. Yay!
Oh, geez. I think I didn't press the video part, and now I can't go back.
Oh, well, then, yes, you can. I'm going to kick you out. Let's see if I can do that.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, can I kick you out? Can you get yourself out?
I can kick myself out.
All right, kick yourself out, and I'll re-invite you. Where'd she go? There she is. Invite. So TikTok's kind of fun. Just so you know. It's kind of fun. There she is. Hi, darling.
Don't mind me. I'm setting up a pool and doing yard work. Please disregard.
No problem. I think you're just beautiful the way you are, and I love the fact that you're able to be fresh to come on and be who you are. So, how can I help you, my dear?
Well, I guess I have a specific. So I had an experience this week. Well, I had a couple experiences. And to sum it up, I've been seeing other people's hell and the hell they're creating. But Spirit's letting me be in the observer, not absorber.
Good.
So I want to make sure I stay here. So,
okay. So I'm going to ask Spirit, has she absorbed? And they said, no, you're starting to, because you're a tribal healer, you're learning about conditions. So they're saying if you can pay attention to how conditioned they are, then you're going to be able to start seeing deeper. And so they're ready to take you deeper on that seventh plane. Okay, so you're seeing it here.
Yeah.
But now we're going to
Yes.
say, thank you, Spirit, for showing me the conditioning. I think that's what you want me to look at. And that means notice when the bell rings or the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because they said you had. And I said, what else do you want her to know? And they said, notice how their reaction, there, some of them do emotional repress. Oh, see, yep. Okay, emotionally repressed. So
they even think that I'm going to be arrogant. So
yes.
They want to change my behavior before I change theirs. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be arrogant. I'm not going to change your behavior.
Exactly. And see, now you understand where I come from. It's like, I love you. And okay, let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is you're seeing a very deep conditioned program. And so they got to hurry up, and you're still out of sync, and you want to be in sync. I get this. So how do we get those turnaround times? And this is where I feel that they want you to be. So what you have to do is that even though you're not doing a twang of pain, you are now looking at how do I self-soothe the situation without having to lose myself or go into those game plays of energy pulls. What do I do? So these are very deep levels that you're seeing from another perspective because you're awakening. And what happens is that these are like the things. So this is the complicated area. I'm not sure exactly how to say this properly,
Yes.
but
arrogant loftiness is turning into, I feel sorry. Oh my God, they're in hell.
Yes.
I see their hell. Holy shit. I don't want you to go home like this.
Exactly. So
calm down, relax, get down.
So now you're going to sit there and you're going to be in respect. And then you're going to go, okay, but I can feel that it's trying to touch my button. It's trying to get me to respond the way they want because they're losing their shit because I'm not showing up as an ass.
Yeah.
And so then you can feel this vibration and you're like, what? So this is where I would then, because you're not quite at that level. So I'm just trying to see where you're at. Okay, I think you're over here. So when you start, I love your awareness. You're lifting the veil. You're seeing it. Yay. Got to give you kudos credits for that. So what I want you to notice is that when you start to pay attention, so her levels of awareness is, that's happening. I love you. And can't help you. Okay, but I want you to begin to notice that the heart has something to do with this. You're going to do a two-part thing. One is that you're going to usually use your right hand, and that is about, the right side is about action. Now you're looking for a new strategy to live. Okay. But it's hard to do when, see, you're learning to change out your old personality, have a great personal reality, but not everybody else is in that boat. And so you're like, how do I relate? So this is where then you're starting to say my action. I don't have to take that energy in and morph into what they want. I actually now can stand back and go, but I can feel it pushing. You're going to take your right hand and you're going to just start to, so this is where you can sit quietly with your arm like this. And, I usually use this finger and I will sit there and I'll go, okay. And I'm listening, but at the same time, I don't have to, my walls or my shields don't have to come down. So I will sit there and I'll rub my heart and I will listen and I'll say to spirit, then how do you want me to show up? Because sometimes I can show up more intentionally when I'm working with spirit, and that the energy, maybe that's all they need to help them settle. I don't necessarily have to morph and to get into all those emotional handing roses or knives. You can stop the energy pull. So I usually start with my heart. Okay. Then I take this situation, and then if they're not going to change, and I don't see any self-soothing, but I can feel that I'm not as antagonized or pulled in or forced. So then I'll go into, if I'm around somebody who doesn't play with me, like for instance, I'll say time life out of sync, then I'll go heal. But if I can't say it with the person, I will come back later. That's why you sit there quietly rubbing your heart. And then you go into your room when you're ready. And then you're going to go and heal out that stuff out of your heart. So that means you're going to grab the left wrist, first position deep. And you're going to sit there and you're going to notice your reaction or how it comes in. Now, this is very important. You pay attention to which way the energy is first. Do you want her to go after or the beginning? Okay, so you can go in the beginning. So you're becoming aware of like the beginning process. So just say, show me where the energy that I have to look at. And I feel like this, here comes the energy. And you're like, I'm starting to see how they want me to morph, or how, like you said, you notice how they're, oh. So this is where I'd be going, oh, okay. And notice that they are programmed. So just sit there, oh. And then you get to the point you probably get revved up to the point you can notice your body is saying, but we have to do. And you're like, no. So listen to the body. So sometimes you'll just have to drop out of the head, listen to the body, and then just breathe it through. Do your best to get the breath into a normal rhythmic. So that means you have to start paying attention to the diaphragm. Okay. And that is, if you can take and bring the energy to the diaphragm and just start to breathe and feel the diaphragm. You don't have to get it exaggerated, but if you breathe through the nose, because we don't want to do chest and we don't want to just do gut. We want the diaphragm. Even if you don't know how to do diaphragm or breathing yet, don't worry, intention. And you're sitting there and then you're focusing in, and you'll notice there'll be one particular picture that you're going to have to look at a time. It'll zero you in, especially if you're working with that seventh plane field. And usually what's the weird part is because I'm, what am I, in time, through time? I think I'm in time. No, through time. I don't remember which one. If you were in class, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't ever have to look behind me, but sometimes we switch from one or the other. And I feel like once you start to see it, I want you to deliberately look and turn your head, because you have it's coming out of nowhere. Okay.
Yes, it is.
When the coming out of nowhere occurs, this tells you that you were in a different time, in time or through time, and it occurred when you were younger. So you'll sit there, and I want you to deliberately notice this. If your eye's going this way and you're focusing on it, you're going to stare it down, deliberately turn your head that direction. But if your eye is going this way, deliberately turn it this way. Even if your eyes, wherever it is, we have to push ourselves in a position. Okay. And so when you do that, stay there until it gets to zero, but you'll really feel it, because it's not, it's just the thoughts coming down, or it's just a feeling. It'll be a whole thing that'll just go, whoosh. I don't know how to explain it. I think you know what I'm talking about, because you've started doing it.
I did, yeah.
So you got a lot more detail.
You had me do it, but you had me do it before.
Oh, excellent. Okay, excellent. Yeah. See, this is what I love about tribal healers, because you learn the basics, and then you let that frequency begin to teach you how to really connect with your spirit. And I've watched you grow. I've watched Amy grow. I've watched Lucia grow, and Nita, and the other ones. Okay, I'm watching the growth. Okay, and to come up with these kind of questions tells me you're able to start looking more with your spirit. Because even though it may have been a simple question, a lot of people are like, "What's she talking about?" But it's beautiful, isn't it? Because you can see the dance of the energies.
Yeah.
You see the individual programs, and it's so distinctly different. And you're like, it gets tiring. You don't need to go emotionally exhausted, but at the same time, you're like, I'm really learning what about my energy. Look at this, get back here energy. After a while,
it's been helping me.
Good.
When I had my live this week, my boss misinterpreted what I was saying, and he thought I was going to go into arrogance. So he went into change my behavior, and he went into arrogance. And I'm like, we're not even on the same page. We're not even talking about the same company. What the hell is he talking about? And then my IT guy came in and said, she wasn't talking about that company.
Good.
She was talking about this, Raj.
Good.
And I was like, I didn't even have to say anything.
Right, because
corrected it for me.
Yes. Because once you created that awareness, spirit will come in and everything gets rearranged. It's not favoritism. It's about alignment. It's about you not losing power to, I can't believe he's an asshole. That twang of pain. You don't really have to do it anymore. Now it becomes a twang of, wait, what? And so you don't have to drop into that. you will hear differently with that higher conscious, because this is what's called trust with that part of yourself. So good job.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like, I feel like even Spirit's been giving me gifts. Manifesting has been going on, and I'm building a pool, a free pool that was given to me, 15-footer. And I'm like, oh my God, did I build this right? And I'm like, Spirit gave this to me. Spirit's got me.
Exactly. Oh, I love it. I love it. See,
I'm fine. Spirit wouldn't have gave this to me if they didn't have my back.
And
I'm good.
Here's the thing. Notice your voice matters. And with this, more tribal healers are going to be born and to be awakening and moving forward. Voice matters because you get to hear the details. I've been watching your growth. I'm impressed. I get ready for Source Point. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, I'm ready.
That is so good to hear. That is so good to hear. Okay. Thank you so much, dear, for coming on, and we'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God. I'm so happy. Yay. As a teacher, that makes me so thrilled that they're able to hear Spirit like I do, to be able to see it. I mean, she's becoming more authentic, and every time she heals those parts, she gets energy back, and she gets to create another level. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Paige, here we go. Yep. Thank you so much for finding me. I'm going to go over here. Oops. There. And hopefully this works. There we go. And we're going to find out, like, if it depends on if you got an iPhone or any of those things, even though the link should just bring it to me, I may have to type in the number and the passcode, but we'll find out. I'm just going to write things down beforehand so that if that happens, I can be prepared. Now, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for following me. And thank you for getting the word out that we can change our reality. We can heal it. People don't think you can, but the more that those that follow me and do just the suggestions are not a demand or anything. If you want relief, you follow along and let the body do the healing for you. You're going to line up more and more to your spirit. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Okay. Judy, are you here? Judy, did I give Carrie Ann a reading yet? I give somebody a reading. You can heal and feel better. Yes, you don't have to feel like shit shows and mentally and emotionally constipated or emotionally exhausted. I think what I can do is I can take the download. I can download it, and then I can take it to my video and push a few buttons and cut out just that part, and I can put it up. I think that would be really great for the students. Yes. Okay. So Carrie Ann, I did read you. I read only one, unless you come on and pay for extra. Otherwise, oops, that's not the screen I want. I was trying to make sure she didn't get. Okay. So she's seeing it. She's probably got to sign in, put her name in, and all that other lovely stuff that they asked for. And look at that up. I'm up to 4,000 likes. I love that. Let's keep that going. That is so important for the message to get out there. It's not just about me. It's about the way that everybody sees. Ooh, we want you to be happy, healthy, and strong. This isn't about me. This means if anything happened to me, you would know how to use the tools to do it. Timestamps 47. Okay, so just remember, if you missed your read, we do have a timestamp at the end of the show on Facebook. You can look where the timestamp is above the information, and we can go from there. Okay, I'm seeing that she's having a little issue or signing in. I'm not seeing that. Okay, I'm just going to look to the room real quick. Did I read Victoria Baker? Because if I haven't, I can read her right now. I got to keep this one message board open. I don't think I have read Victoria. All right, Victoria, Judy, I'm hoping that, I hate this delay. Victoria Baker. So here's the thing. I hear, I am going. And when I'm like, what? And it's like, I'm going to have to police myself, others. I have to listen to how people police me towards me, and then I have to turn it into this is how I have to behave. So when we begin to do something like that, your trigger is as soon as you start to feel worthless, you turn around and go, what did I do wrong? How did I do it? What did I do wrong? So you turn around and learn to police yourself. This is a habit that when you start not getting results that you want, when you were younger, you would turn to people and try to get, little kids would throw fits, whatever, and then you were corrected or scorned, so that you learn to police yourself. Hopefully that makes sense. But they're saying that your body says, I don't feel safe. So then the program comes up, I don't feel safe. So therefore you have to correct yourself. You have to police yourself based on those little actions that's happened as a kid. So to begin to heal that out, she said, so true. I want you to hold L1D because that's too much energy wasted. You're not being able to be the creator that you meant to. Take your left wrist. If you measure how you know it, put your thumb in, push in deep, finger here, wrap these 3 around, grab the top of the head and let it sit there and measure that from the scales from 0 to 10. Look at that whole procedure. Sit there. Let the body do the healing. Let the body do the healing. Okay? She said, yes, that is so true. Yes, let the body do the healing. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate your help. Okay, so we have, let me move this mouse up here. There she is. Let me get gotta get sound. Are you able to hear me? Nope. Okay, it's getting it right now. And, oh, very good, very good. Just hit one more button. Okay, you can hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yay! Okay, excellent.
We did it. I'm sorry.
We done it. No, it takes a while, but once we do it a few times, we've got it. Okay, so let me just go ahead and put this time in. How can I help you?
I guess I am just being very indecisive with everything right now. A lot
Perfect.
of overthinking going on.
Okay, I'm going to look between over. See, that's all I need to do. I'm not trying to cut her off, but I want to give her time's worth. So you got 2 things that are going on. The bladder, which is the will. I'm going to will. The bladder meridian has to do with sometimes you get really wishy-washy instead of indecisive. Okay.
That makes sense.
And so then when you go to make that decision, you're waffling, you don't want it, you wishy-washy, and then all of a sudden you go to make a decision. Do you go into okay, they're saying the word time loop. So do you get depression sometimes? Like in the morning, you feel very indecisive? Okay, so that's 2 things that need to be addressed. Like right now, which one can you look at the most? Like, is it in the morning feeling like a depression coming? Or do you feel the wishy-washy? Which one do you feel the most?
Probably more so the depression lately.
Okay. So if I ask Spirit which one we want to do, believe it or not, we're going to start right now on 0 to 10. I want you to, do people do guilt tripping or do you do guilt tripping on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You got to stop doing that. That's part of why you're into both of those at that same time. So if you were thinking about guilt trip right now, if you want to play along, grab your right wrist, find that 3rd position. Okay. And you're going to put your thumb there, nice and soft. Put your finger in the palm so you make the letter C. Okay. Just wait for her. She's got to figure out what to do with her phone. And then you're going to go like this. You're just going to sit like that. Okay. Do you want to play along like that? Do you want to do it right now?
Yeah, let's do it. Here, let me set my phone up here.
Okay. Because, so notice the feeling. Okay. Notice how you know this.
Okay, so thumb on the 3rd point.
Yep. So, 3rd point, nice and soft. And then point your finger in the palm. Very good. And wrap these 3 and go like this. And it's okay, people are watching, but she don't have her fingers over. Don't worry. The energy. You're perfect. You're good. You're good. Okay. Now sit there with me. Now keep it there just for a moment. Keep it there. Now I want you to think about this. I want you to drop into how you know what depression is. Like in the morning. Pick the morning. Pick when it's really vacillating between I don't want to get out of bed. I got to get out of bed. I don't want to get out of bed. Do you understand what I'm saying? You, okay, so on a scale from 0 to 10, keep it there. Keep it there.
I'm having trouble.
See, good. All right, notice that. Now what I want you to do, because your alarm is going off, you can take your hand down, and this can be done privately. So you can take your hand down if you want. Oh, see, she wants to drop. She wants to go there. But
I don't know what I want to do.
Exactly. And I said, Spirit, how do we want to do this? And this is where we're going to take and do source point. Lung, thyroid, heart. I want you to take your right wrist. So when you can't hold a point, this is where source point. So you see that first point right there?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to check for you is that it's frozen. This is why she's vacillating. So you're going to take your palm and you're going to slide it across. Okay? Very good. And then turn it around, back of the hand, slide it across. And I want you to do that several times. Okay, there you go. Just do it a few more times. Your hand is electromagnetic. Your blood is electromagnetic. And so is that spot we're working on. And so we're resetting that. All right, we're resetting that. And then you're going to take and you're going to go at that point, put your thumb, push in, and then rub. Now notice that you went to the middle. I want you to come to the edge. It's not quite on the side. It's right there on the edge. There we go. Got it. Now just rub and breathe. Her whole body's like going, ow, 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 ow. I'm watching the different things in her body. Very good. Very good. We're going to get the body to go into the next stage. All right. Now we're going to take and tell you go down to your right leg. And what you're going to do is that you're going to follow your pinky toe. And you're going to come all the way to the bone. And right in front of the bone, ankle bone, you're going to find a squishy point. Okay. And then you are going to, let me check, see if you have to, no. Now I want you to just push in and rub because that one's not locked. I want you to rub it. Oh, man, I feel the left side of the body. It's going back into the muscle, just, I guess, where the kidneys and things would be. I'm watching this. Now, I'm watching how your body's not, do you have a high tolerance for pain?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, you don't, that's why you're not feeling it. And I am. You have.
Honestly, the only thing that's really been hurting on me lately is like my shoulders.
Okay.
But that's just been lifting heavy things that I shouldn't be lifting, you know, and I know that. I'm
watching how your body does this subdue of, okay. Okay. There. Now okay. Now it's moving. Okay. Come over to the right hand. Okay. And we're going to follow the pinky down just above the crick, right where the cardiac point is. There you go. Now I'm going to check real quick. Okay. So now you're just going to push your thumb in or finger in and you're going to rub. Oh. Yeah. I'm watching these. See, I'm looking at her field. And she's like, this is my normalcy. What are you talking about? Everything's good.
Yeah, that's me. I'm in denial all the time. It's all good.
So notice the fact is, in order for her to survive everything she's had, it's all good. But her body is like yelling at me. It's yelling at me. And then I'm listening to the body says, well, if I don't say it's all good, I can go right into depression, or I can go do this, or I can do that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now I'm watching the body even out. Okay. Now, if I asked you about guilt tripping, did it get used on you a lot as a kid?
Maybe with my mom. I grew up with an alcoholic mother. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. And most people will talk that way.
She's very overbearing. I don't know.
Okay.
How much is guilt tripping? But definitely overbearing.
Have you heard of guilt tripping? Have you seen guilt tripping?
I guilt trip myself a lot.
There we go.
I'm doing this right. I'm not doing that right.
Very
I don't
good.
really remember anybody doing that to me as I was a kid, though.
Good. Because we usually times we don't. But that got you where you need to be. So which is how I know about guilt tripping. And you notice that the direction is I do it to myself. Now, my
mom always guilt tripped herself in a way, like, oh, I don't do anything right.
Right.
You know,
very good. So You've learned
She
it.
didn't guilt trip me personally. It was always like
All right. So just so people
you're mad
know.
because I didn't do it right. She's a very offensive or
Yeah.
defensive, not offensive, defensive woman. Yeah.
So what she's showing you is that she's learned this as a kid. It's epigenetic. It also comes through, but not only did she watch it, but it also went through the bloodline. Again, can you try it now? Pick up your right hand and place your thumb there in the third position. Okay.
Third.
Yep. There you go. And then just put your hand here. And I want you to know how you know what guilt tripping is. What do you do? How you saw your mother did it to herself. And I want you to notice that that's the language you use to communicate to yourself. Now, notice that she's not resisting as much. She's more clear on that guilt tripping. If I said put on a scale from 0 to 10, can you see it? 10 being the most, yeah.
Mm.
Now she's hearing a little bit more. I have to do this to myself. Wait until you hit that point. Ask yourself, why do you do it to yourself? Why do you do that? Because it's all you know? Because I feel overwhelmed?
I heard because I don't feel worthy.
Very good. Now, understand, you're going to do it big time because you don't know how to self-soothe. Your self-soothing tool was that. You learned it from your family. That's how people self-soothe. My mother was in a tizzy. She said those things and she self-soothed. She didn't necessarily self-soothe. It's suppressing. It's using whatever tools we can. She may have used alcohol. But even if alcohol wasn't present, how did she do it? As a child, we see these little details.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question then becomes to you is that, again, do you want this healed out? Because we know I can see how it's connected to depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel that you want to be something more. You're ready to be more, but you can't really be that more and be authentic about it because you're kicking your own ass.
Right.
Okay. So if you can practice every day, every morning, at night, whatever, you take that right wrist, third position, nice and soft. And I want you to go through and notice, I do this because, or I know what guilt tripping is. Where did I see it before? Just keep looking. And then your body will.
Should I do that?
Yes, yes. Yeah, because one of the things about depression is we are under pressure to show up a certain way and we can't. And so then how do we talk to ourselves? How do we do this? It's in the self-soothing, in the self-regulation. It's done basically to hurt us when we're little. We don't realize that. We lose power. We don't know any of that. But you have a chance to stop the vacillation and the wishy-washy because we know that's designed, for what I can see, it was designed around how you thought, oh, this is how I'm supposed to cope with life. Well, I don't really want to be an alcoholic, or I can't when I'm a kid. So how do I do it? That's how they do it. And it made sense to you. It was familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you didn't have any other tool that you could see that would work for you except for that. So that's where I want you to make sure you're holding, and I want you to realize this is how I'm self-soothing with these words. Because if you don't look at it that way, you won't realize that you need to release it. You're thinking, but I don't have a tool to self-soothe. I have to have this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, but if you teach the body that, what do I have to self-soothe from? And what does self-soothe feel like?
So work on the depression and then the wishy-washiness.
Yeah. And basically talk about how you talk to yourself. Notice it. When you start working with your innate wisdom, the body knows how to do it. I'm just giving you some direction to like what you can think of and what you can look at. This will do an amazing thing all by itself. Every time you grab it when you feel depressed, every time you grab it when you feel those wishy-washy and all that, every time, just because you're learning how to self-soothe healthily, how the body is telling you you don't need to create those chemical peptides, okay? Just dedicate a good, because when depression sometimes kick in, we're like, I ain't putting that hand in my head. You got to see that when we first started. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you come back and you rewatch the video later, you can go, okay, what'd she do? She had me rub here. She had me rub there. So I think there was like 3 spots I had you rub or something like that.
I felt calming down like immediately.
Exactly.
I definitely did. Like, it definitely calmed me down. And you don't calm down that easily.
See her calm down. See, now listen what she said.
Then okay, now we're okay.
When we started off, she's like, "This is my normal. What are you talking about? I feel good." I was like, "No." And then she rubs, "Oh, I'm calming down." And now she can see that she's calming down. See?
Yeah.
So now you and the body are learning to have a communication. So go back and rewatch that later, because we have a tendency to go back into that morphogenic field or the habit field, and we get caught up and lose who we are. But if you can go back and say, I know, I got to watch this again. Okay, she told me to do this, this, and this, and this. And it will help you to get back on track. This one is a huge one right here for you, because your body wants to go into an alarm.
Mm-hmm.
It just sits there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now you're like, I feel good. I like that. I'm glad you witnessed that, and I'm glad that you're ready to heal longer. Just give it a good week. Measure every day. How did I wake up? How did I feel? How does this affect my world? Because it's in that awakening part of you that says, I can get myself out of hell. Because you're like, but I'm not in hell. But yet you know you don't like certain parts. So you have to first come aware of it. All right, I don't want to throw too much more on you. Just know that this is a great point. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for caring about yourself and wanting to come on. I will talk to you later, okay?
All right,
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, bye. See, that's important. We begin to heal. That is good. That's good. That's good. So let me double check. We're good there. Okay. Anybody, I'm just looking. Anybody new? Wherever room you in, you want a reading if I haven't read you before. Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. She says, I just love Brenda. She's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can begin to see, okay, we can begin to see these little steps that we can take for ourselves, that we can make a big improvement for ourselves. Okay. You resonated with Paige? Excellent. When you start seeing yourself and others, you can use the tools on yourself. You can use the tools on yourself. It can make a major difference. And especially when you're waking up and you're like, instead of going, oh my God, I got to deal with this. It's the same shit, different day. Insanity. I wanted mine to stop immediately. I could see this insanity. I don't want it anymore. And that was part of my drive to where I'm today, able to take the information in, use the tools, and find out where I'm going. Okay. So what I'm going to do, get to the right screen. Oh, I didn't think I closed it. Let's see. We'll go down here. And okay, I've done Miss Patricia already. We'll go to Miss April Lynn, and I'll look to the rooms. So I will look. Yep, I will get to you in just a second, Jessica. And again, if you'd like to have a reading here, if you have 1,000 followers, or even if you don't have 1,000 followers, where am I going? This way. I don't want to make everybody nauseous. Why am I not fine? Here is the thing. Here's my board. There we go. Move my ass out of the way. So notice that paypal.me/reading11 ? If you want a reading, it's $24. And we can do it in the room. We can do it live. You don't even have to have video if you don't want. You can have just audio. Other people will benefit. And April Lynn, here we go. There's a certain amount of confusion. Oh, I'm watching your energy show up to people, and they're confused by it now, because before they could control it, you were responding to it, unintentionally responding to it. But now you must have healed something, because now they're confused. And as they're confused, there's a certain way that was so subtle. And what it did was appease them without realizing it. Your body did this appeasing. So they were like, okay, but now they're not getting that. So there was a confusion. And what does that do to you is that your body's like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. It's rejecting it very nicely. It's just saying, no, thank you. But the body is saying that it still relates to resonation of wounded pride. So if they have a wounded pride, you still have to respond to it. So we want you to do R3D. If they look like they're having wounded pride, or if it starts to sound like jealousy, oh, hold on, I got to get that right. If they're having wounded pride, there's a body part, which one? It's your spleen. Okay, this is really funny. Your spleen says you have to act a certain way. So it causes you to feel like you're indebted. But at the same time, you're resonating with it. And jealousy, not in the mind, but a certain part of your programmed self causes that to feel unstable. So they want you to start with L2S and then R3S. Okay? Listen to the details, and then you'll understand where to apply them. How you doing, Amber? Wonderful. I'll jump over to Jessica on TikTok. All right, Jessica. There's a little bit of an impending intolerance. I just can't tolerate that. I know I'm going to have to tolerate that. I don't want to tolerate that. I don't want to, oh, they're just going to be intolerant. They're just going to, oh, no. So it's going vacillating back and forth with this word intolerance. And it's, you're wanting to respond a certain way. And I'm looking at the same time, you want to, I wish I would have said that. I wish I could have said that. I wish I could have. But then because the reason you say the wishes is because there's emotionally repressed program around when you were 5. I can't talk back. I'm not allowed to talk back. I have to keep my mouth shut. So you've got 2 programs that are firing. And at the same time, you have invading energies from the outside of whatever it is, tips and hits you feel awkward, whether they feel awkward or whatever's going on. Your body goes, oh, okay. How to help you begin to heal is that notice that the play out, that you must live a certain way. You have to feel a certain way. You got to be. So they want you to live their part of their world. If you can begin to see that program, grab your left wrist, second position, put your thumb nice and soft, and sit there. Listen to what I said. Ask Spirit to make it pop and go, oh, hold on, I see it now. And then sit there and heal it out to 0. We want it out to 0. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go over to Miss Amy Jensen. Okay. Miss Schmalls. Okay. Amy. Okay. So they're pointing to nothingness. They're pointing to space. So they're saying that right now you're at a good point, but you sometimes get hysterical with the response. So you have to, so getting more into your spiritual space, begin to notice and go, huh. It used to feel good. And this is where people are like, you don't take away my joy of bitching, okay? Or responding, or my association of response. So you are beginning to notice a new way. But this is where the third option comes in. Because the association, that desire, that, Marco Polo, okay? And you kind of feel helplessness that you don't realize it's there. They're saying that you're ready. You're ready to take this out, this particular response. So you're going to take your right wrist, first position, nice and soft. You don't have to begin to feel that way. And just to help you understand about hers, you'll get to a stage of your healing and leveling up your consciousness and raising your soul. What happens is that you were beginning to see the habit of the associations of how you do things. And some people say, well, I love that about myself. I'm not saying you have to hate it, but she's also choosing to not lose power. She wants to stay more in charge. She wants to get in a certain way of feeling. And in order to do that, she has to wake up to how she used to do things and heal it out. That's where she's at. Okay. So we already had this one. We'll go into anybody new in the room. Let me know. I get you a read. We're going over to Lena. Miss Lena. I hear a baby song. Rockabye and good night. So it's a bedtime type of soothing. And do you having trouble falling asleep? Because I feel like it's work. It's like you rehearse. Well, I shouldn't have said that. Why'd they say that? So you're becoming self-conscious. I can see that I should have, well, this is how they saw me. This is how, oh God, I shouldn't have said that. That's kind of what's vacillating right now. And it is, you are trying to figure out how to be a human about it. But this part of the program is ready to be kicked to the curb, Lena. So left wrist, second position, nice and soft. And just notice you're rehashing what you said or how you said it. Instead of being proud of it, you're condemning it. So you're a little self-conscious. How did I show up to those people? And you're becoming aware on a deeper level now. Keep going, Lena. You're doing awesome. Very proud of that. Miss Crystal with a K. And Chelsea in the room, if you are new, let me know if I haven't read you before. Anybody here, if I haven't read you before, you get 2 minutes, not 1. So now we're going to go over to Crystal with a K. So you're learning about tolerance and intolerance. And there's a conditioning like a bell that rings off. When this happens, it puts you in a reaction. So and it usually plays out. The way that you taught yourself, because they're saying tech, how you taught yourself of how to respond is basically keeps you in a loop of repeating what somebody else wants, like keeping you around the homestead. I got to respond this way, I got to act this way. You're starting to look at your own programs of what you did. So you're going to notice some self-imposed limitations. So they're saying when you start to notice that you're giving up your expectations to please others or do the right thing, because too many people are watching, they want you to take the left wrist, first position, nice and soft. Begin to get into all of that way of thinking and saying, oh, I did it there and I did it there. Now, we're not asking you to blame yourself. I did it there. Awareness. Hold it. Measure it. Watch the body heal it out. You get it down to 0, and then you'll stop producing to do that. Hello, Melissa. How are you? I see that you're new. Yes, I'll give you 2 minutes. And for Melissa Atkinson. Okay. Okay, so one of the things I'm seeing is muddled emotions. And you just don't know what to do with them. And so you kind of like, and you kind of like suppressed it. You're like, oh, I just don't. Oh. And so you're used to suppressing it by what they call overcoming. But then you can't help but get into this. I don't usually like to say certain words because they can trigger, but sometimes we go into self-pity. And when you understand what self-pity is, they said it is how we get excessive. We get caught up into it. We're absorbed in that unhappiness and our own trouble. We just, and so there's words that come with it. Does this make sense? And that's because I'm watching you suppress emotions from something else that this comes up. If that's the case, then understand that the language is what your soul wants you to learn, is because it's that's how you used to cope, handle, and deal. You have this process that's happening, and sour graping, is that we looked at it and we can't have it. And so we're like, yeah, it wasn't meant for me anyway, or, it wasn't good enough. And it's nothing wrong with the sour graping, except for the fact is that it's a way that we push down instead of resolve out these issues so they can pop back up and bother us later. So when you're doing your dreaming of what you want in life, you've heard so much criticism from others that you've learned to criticize yourself when you want to do your dreams. If that's the case, Melissa, if that's true, let me know any of this is true. And if it is true, you can begin to take that feeling, hold your left wrist, find that first position, put your thumb there, nice and deep, push it in, make the letter C, wrap these 3, sit there like this and go, oh my God, it's a 10. Yes, I have to give up on my dreams. I got to do this, criticize this. But you got to catch that you're criticizing, because we can't get to the point where we heal people criticizing us. We took it upon ourselves and says, well, that's stupid. We start using arrogance and stupidity. Well, this is how you're supposed to stop yourself. It's a self-imposed limitation. Okay, heal it out. She said, yes. So go heal it out. Begin to measure it. Oh, yeah, I do that. And when you become aware And then you're doing the healing. The healing will do this for you, but then you'll start to lift it. You'll start noticing the thoughts and the emotions change where you might, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But just keep healing every time it shows up. Every time it shows up. That was a good one. So Chelsea, I read you the other day and I sent stars. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. So if you want a reading, say, yes, please. I want a reading. And that way I got permission and I know that you really want it. I just don't want to cross any boundaries. Linda Love. Oh, Batman. I have no idea, but I just hear Batman. So that's for Linda. I'm looking at this. Yes, you're still working on the same issue. Give me another insight so she can bust it down. And they said diminished. I don't want to be diminished. I don't want to do this. I get to that point where you're noticing that you have to act or somebody's invaded their space. And what's going to happen is you're going to start holding L3S because, this is very crucial, L3S, because your younger self will pop in and say, take the meaning, go, and then makes false meaning, creates false realities. And all it's doing is that you're living out what happened because somebody did this to you around 4. And so you're kind of just keep reliving this out. Oh, well, I don't want them. I can see you crossing the line. No, I'm getting my power back. I'm saying no. But what I'm telling you is that your 4-year-old didn't know how to cope with it. So now you got a chance to sit there and cope with it. Okay. Because you're reading something into it. Well, your little is into the moment. Funny. So funny. I was joking about Batman earlier with my son. I love Batman. Okay. So there we go. There was a connection. I'll look over and I see Chelsea. Chelsea is ready. Chelsea is ready. I'm hearing blaming and accused. Now, which way is that energy coming? Blaming, accused. It's in the space. So it's not really. So you went into a space where somebody was blaming and accusing and this energy. And I'm watching you like watching a tennis match. Okay. What I'm also seeing is that these things get your attention like it's a TV show. You can't help but to. And they said that you actually feel empowered when you watch these things. Now, whether it's like, oh, good, I don't do these things, or, oh, I'm going to root for you. Ooh, they said that this is part of what you're seeing. Now, the body is telling me that you're going, I don't want to be controlled like that. I'm not going to let that happen. Okay. What your soul is telling you to heal is that even though this is good that you're observing, you have a mask of your own that you're ready to start looking at. And the way that you're going to first discover is if you feel incompatible. Like, let's say you go to a grocery store and all of a sudden you're not really showing who you are, or you don't even know who you're supposed to be. So you put on a mask of the storytelling in your mind. And they want you to begin to notice just little by little. Do I put a mask on? Some people will make it more so. But if you are walking into the room and you're seeing this, notice this is you not living inside. This is you living here. Noticing that the environment constantly is, you've identified with that with so long. And you're ready to come inside and go, do I really want that? Do I really need to see that? Am I really getting off on that? Not saying that way, but I'm just saying, oh, yeah. We're looking at, I think more of it when you're really a teenager. Ooh, that's the way we're observing, if that makes any sense. Linda says, okay, we'll do that. Me and my little. We got to go re-raise our littles and be a good parent to them. Okay, I'm going to look to the next person, and that is Felicia. Oh, there you are, honey. Okay, Felicia. I feel like I want to scratch my face. I feel like I want to break out in acne. I feel like I'm like, what's going on? And they said my liver. I said, okay, it's fine. Now, notice that the liver issue has to do with I am going to ... And I said, tell me more. And they said, well, I can't, I won't. I'm finally standing up. I'm not taking it anymore. And I feel like I'm going to have to endure this particular pain. I am not going to. So you got these two sides in complete conflict. And it's the stress of those two things. They said that you're ready to start taking some of that stress out because your happiness goes like this. But where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? So Felicia, R, which is the right wrist, second position, find it with the two fingers, thumb there, push in. Yeah, push in deep, make the letter C. And I want you to think about all these things I said. Where did my happy go? Where did my happy go? Oh my God, it went over there. Oh, all right, then measure it down and get it down to 0. Measure it. Stay there. Stay there. You're going to have to probably do it several times with different situations because your body is stuck in a response because there was always some form of trauma. Okay. And then you got the two sides of you battling. Start to do R2D. Get to see it, heal it out. That's for Felicia Guzman. Miss Erin McCarthy. Here we go, Miss Erin. Miss Erin. I'm accused of being a liar. I'm accused. Nice, you wanted to heal the accused? No. I want you to feel the energy of someone accusing and how you can be innocently in the kitchen doing something and somebody's thinking about this. And all of a sudden, bam. Okay. Okay. So that's, here we go. Hold on. I got to change it. She said a little extra. Excellent. Okay. So here we go. My head. But see, you start feeling helpless though. You start feeling helpless. And then again, this is for Erin. So you be happy. You're in the kitchen and everything else. And because of this accusing, you've felt it before. So the body says, oh, it's happening to me. It may not be to you. And or the accusations or the way that they may be talking the TV set. The body is like going, I'm geared up to answer. Creates the chemical peptides. And then your thought pattern goes in a certain direction. They said that, or maybe you don't say anything and you're sitting there contemplating and you're assuming they said it to you. Now, these are filters that are crossing. They're not going to let you see the correct timeline. Okay. They're not going to let you see the correct timeline. And these filters, and what they want you to do is notice that, because see, my body just wants to give up. My brain is vacillating on this, but it's just, I said, what do you want to feel like actual give up? They're trying to tell me that I can hear control words like shame, certain shaming words that would represent shaming. Your body does this alarm, and I feel like it's a consistency, and I feel like it's like it could trouble your small intestine and large intestines. Like your body the environment has changed your body. You changed your DNA, and you're sitting there. I reject this. I'm asking you, are you redoing an action? Hold on. Does she have an active memory? Yes. Now, I'm not talking about how your mind is active. I'm talking about an actual memory that became active. But at the same time, that's hitting your conditioning, and the energy is going out, bringing in situations where you remember the TV show Three's Company, where you didn't get enough information, so you went into different assumptions. Your body's doing the assumptions, and it starts to feel awkward. The best way to heal this out would be, I guess, the word letdown. Look at what letdown. What does it mean to you? How does it feel? Which direction? And if that's the case, that if you, where do you want her to start healing when she starts seeing it? Wow, you've got a lot going on in this big whirlwind, because there's a phobia going on. And they said, if you could just take what I said and just start to feel it, they want you to begin to do left wrist, third position, nice and deep. Okay. I really want you to hear what I said, define these words, and begin to feel how the body, because I feel like I'm in a tornado. That's what it feels like. Okay. So I did give you more than 1 minute. I read your message and then the other one just popped in. So anyways, we'll talk about that later. Okay. So anybody in the room? Yes, Thor, I do see your comments. I'm getting there, my love. Give me a second. I'm jumping all over the place. So yes, you had a 1 minute about Bo, correct? What's going on with his back end? Okay, so we'll take Thor next, just so we know. Miss Thor, about Bo. What's going on with Bo? All right, so I have a higher spirit coming in and telling me there's an interrupt. So which ones are not connecting? So is the spirit in his body? That's not. So there's a disconnect where between organs, no. Glands, no. Him in the outside world. All right, so there's disconnect between him and the environment, the other dogs. I feel like he feels like no other dog likes him. He's got this complex that nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. So he feels disconnected from his environment. And so his environment then feels like it's inflamed. And so then his body responds with a reaction of pain. And I said, what's really going on in the body in this back part? And they said that the energy, I said, how many meridians are doing this? And they said the large intestine meridian is, the energy is backed up. So I said, do you want me to do anything with source point? So with Bo, we're going to use the right front paw. And you're going to, so as he's standing, go up here and just start using the magnet across his whole, use a magnet there, start rubbing here. So you're going to go on his front paw and just, so when you're holding on to it, you're going to, here's these nails. I want you to do the small intestine. So, but basically I want you to touch the outside of his paws and on the side. And I want you to just rub those. And then, okay, so then the stomach. So then you're going to take your hand or a magnet and you're going to, on top of his forehead, go all the way down to his tailbone, saying, I connect the stomach meridian to the stomach. I connect the stomach meridian to the stomach. Do that at least 3 times. Is there anything that is there a wedge? So the wedge you have to take out is overtime hopelessness. So you say overtime hopelessness and do that 10 times. And then go from there and see what happens. All right. So now we're going to go on to Miss Nancy Burke. Oops. Slid it. Miss Nancy Burke. Talkative. I'm just talkative. Is it you? I feel like you bring people in that are constantly very talkative about their issue. I feel like there's a lot of arrogance that coming from people. They kind of feel like they have to be alpha. And I said, okay, so she's bringing this in. Then what? Well, after a while, you started to, I feel awkward. I don't like this anymore. I feel like you were fine with it at the beginning, and now you're starting to go, there's an ick, the intolerant. Because now you're beginning to hear that it actually sounds mean, like they're acting mean. And you're like, I don't want, I just, no. And you're under pressure to always have to give a response. And this is what Spirit said. We want you to help heal yourself. Is that I want you to be, notice that you don't want to exert your power like that, but notice how you're giving power away because you're sitting there. But notice how you're like, I want my power to do whatever I want. And so Nancy, go left position, second position, or left hand, second position, nice and deep. Okay, very good. I'm looking into the room, so I'm not missing anything. I see Deborah. We'll go there, Deborah Roos. She has lymph issues. I'm going to ask source point. Okay, nope. We want that. All right, so lymph issues. I'm just going to jump there. They said that I want you to do L2D. L2D. And you just focus on the lymph issues. I got lymph issues. I got lymph issues. I said, if I were to take and start working with my lymph nodes, they said that you can do self lymph nodes. Okay. See the collarbone right here. Okay. So you're going to drop in, and it's all along the bone area. You're going to, let's see, I this side. So you can massage just like this. You're going to come up next to the bone, and then around, and then go to where it goes, and just do this. And then you can follow along and come up underneath the boobs to here. They want you to do that several times of rubbing through here. Do that about 3 times a day so that your body can start to release some of the weight stagnant in your chest. They said, notice that when you get there and you're focusing on my lymphatic system, notice where your mind goes, because it's, I'm going to have to be a shit show. I'm going to have to give up some. I'm going to have to. They want you to do the L2D and just, our lymphatic system needs you to physically move in order for the lymphatics to pump out the toxins. And sometimes we don't move. We just don't. Deborah says true. So, like, for instance, I've gone to the dentist. I've had some dental work. So you know how they inject all that stuff in your mouth, the fluoride and all of this. Well, the parotid glands, both of mine, the poisons went in and they didn't come out. And so I started having problems, and I didn't feel it here. It all showed up here, and it felt like my throat was closing off. So I took one of those sonic machines, that Revitalator, whatever the machine is. And I just started, I did it just on my parotid, and then it went down my throat. And all of a sudden, this whole dumping went into my body. So I had to physically exercise, stretch, move, and it started to go through. And of course, I'm working it through, and it went down to my knees. Ouch. Started rubbing it, and it got it back up my legs, and my body then had to go through the heart of it. So you always make sure you do a lymphatic rub if you're going to do your arms and legs towards the heart. But this is intentionally that you want to take and do the organ lymphatic connection. Because if you're up here and you're going, well, if I'm rubbing my central governing, where's that? Well, that's back here. Or here's my heart. Well, the heart's right here. Oh, but then you go into the next one, and then the central, and then going down in your liver and your stomach, and you're going, what? It's not supposed to touch just the organ. This is the pathway, lymphatic pathway, and it's just happened to be named after these organs. So you're actually going in and helping that meridian and the organ itself to move. Okay, so let's see what else. Yes, just taking it. Oh, thank you for the stars. Guess what, Melissa? Your name goes into the drawing, so you have a chance to get a chance to win next month for 8 minutes to be on the air with me. So you have a chance, Melissa Church. Okay. Looking into the rooms. Anybody else wants a reading? Oh, needed to scroll up. Let's see. Brittany, did you say you wanted one? My thing was stuck. Oh, sending prayers. Oh, that's not good. Okay, yes. We send that. Okay, it is done. Focus again. Amanda Gibbs. Amanda Gibbs. My pride. My pride. I don't want my pride hurt. It hurts. So there's a part of you that goes past it. There's a straight panic. So I think this panic is connected to when you got your pride hurt when you were about 4 months old. It's not even yours. But because it was the environment, you didn't know any difference. So how they said to look at it is that my pride gets hurt. So kind of look at that twang. My pride gets hurt. And the guilt tripping, and then the wrestling back and forth of communication. So they want you to hold R3S, right wrist, third position, nice and soft. And kind of notice how that works. And just sit there. I know you're at that good point because we want the panic to go. And if panic comes up, just keep breathing it through as you're focusing on it, because they're connected. Okay. Yes, Mary Gardner, are you new? If I read you before, let me know. If I haven't, you get 2. I'm going to go up to Miss Autumn. Miss Autumn. Miss Autumn, I'm looking at an emotional grudge. You have the emotional grudge? No, God, I feel like you got an arrogant person in your space that sits there and is very arrogant. Oh my God. Okay, Autumn, they're saying that you can feel, okay, they're aggressive. They're like, I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. You're supposed to be dumb. They may not say it out loud, but it is there. It's there. And you, that is what you feel. That is what you feel. And it causes you to have lack peace. I want you to take the right wrist, second position, nice and deep, Autumn. And I want you to sit there. And you, if you have too many people that do that, because that's the attraction factor, just take them, lump them in a room. Just kind of like set them before you and go, okay. And just really feel that gameplay. Okay. Get it down to 0, measure it. I have, well, okay, wonderful. Melissa Church. Yes. Okay. Melissa, have I read you before? I remember the name Melissa, but the church, I'm not sure. But you know what? You gave me stars. So I'm just going to, you're getting 2 regardless. All right. So we're going to go to Melissa Church, and then I'll go to Mary, and then on to, somebody referred you. Who referred you, Stephanie? It's important that I know to verify. Let me know. So that means I haven't read you before. And so here we go for Melissa Church. Melissa Church, blaming. Who? Is it in the space? Is it you? Is it coming to you? Is it? Oh, so I'm watching you view how people blame. Okay. I'm watching all this blaming. I'm looking, and just because they're doing it, you're starting to feel their overwhelm. It's their overwhelm, but your body begins to feel it as if it was happening to you. So sometimes we get very caught up into the energy field, and they're telling me that your body is longing that you didn't have to do that. So if you're becoming aware, okay, if you're becoming aware, then what happens is that you need to, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get, okay, first of all, you're going to need to do Celtic weave. Other people's shit is in your space, in your aura field. So Judy will take and put up my website, the free tools you can have. And that is Celtic weave. Remember, it's elbows together, cross, and then push it out. Now, you need to do big several eights, and you'll see where when you watch the video or read the instructions. You got to kick their energy out. You need to do connecting heaven and earth so you can create a different, kicking it out and bringing the new energies in. You need to do Wayne Cook, because man, does this affect you. So look at Wayne Cook posture. You also need to do the hookup. You got to create that field. But one person in particular, maybe 2, that there's too much of a connection. So you're going to need to do peanut butter. Okay. The thing's called peanut butter. We got to clean out separate these energies so that it's not you. So like if you're watching a TV set and you're going, oh my God, that resonates with me, just kind of pull yourself out. You're going to have to remember to pull yourself out. Like when I see actors dying, oh my God, wait a minute, they're alive. They're just acting. So sometimes you have to pull yourself out. Wow, I'm doing Reiki for the first time this weekend. Definitely do, Melissa, do peanut butter if you're going to be touching anybody. Okay. Yeah, you're going to need to do all those protections. Please, please, please. Because when I was doing Reiki, we didn't have all those. And then my teacher taught me how to do peanut butter, which made a hell of a difference. Okay. So Judy put those down. Judy is also shows you the website, Medicine Women's Solution. That's the soul, SOUL, TION, .Weebly. Okay. Yes. Go and start witnessing the differences. And if you feel like okay, so let's say you did it. You're like, wow, I still feel there's stuff. You have to scale it, because you may be a 10 of crap in your space, and you do it once, it may bring it down to an 8. You may have to do several rounds to get them to 0, or to strengthen yourself. but do it, because then you're going to start feeling the difference. Your whole organs are going to feel the difference. And you're going to, whew, yes, start training yourself to fine tune. You got it? Fine tune. I'm looking at the room and I see, all right, I need Helen's last name so that I can verify. The reason why is because Helen needs to, she can get her name into a drawing. So just so we know, we've got to create a verification. So I want to go to Mary Gardner real quick. Mary Gardner, and I have, good, give you one, Mary Gardner. We're going to look at helplessness. I said, you, them, oh, helplessness. My body knows what that sensation feels like. I feel helplessness, but I become indifferent to my own helplessness. I stop listening to that part, and I've now become oversympathetic to everybody else's plight. And I kind of now storing when I see helplessness in others, I don't take care of mine. And because of that, I feel like I'm taking that on. And my body. So your body is asking you to do the same thing I just told Melissa. Okay. It needs to have its own space. It's just, but because that is, I'm asking which one you want to heal first. Where did my happy go? So for you, it'd be a right wrist, second position, nice and deep. Okay. And that is, where did my happy go? Where did my happy go? That's what your body's saying. Where did my happiness go? Okay, hold it there. All right, get it down to 0. Oh my God, where did my happy go? How do I know this? It's a 10. Okay, makes sense. Wonderful. Okay. Hold on, the names just jumped again. And so I see 2 names. Shatikita Weidman. Did I read you before, or have I read you? Judy, let me know. And going back to, go find out. Thank you very much, Stephanie. And then I'll go to Nita, and then I'll come back to the room. Nita. Between blaming and instability, there's pride and tattling. This is the shit that's in your space, but you're viewing it. And you're like, how does this fit for me? So when you begin to read how metaphysically, how does this work for you? It's showing you that you have arrested development. By watching them, they're not be able to move on. So I'm going to read your arrested development, and it has to do with overbearing energy. You're good at tolerating, good at fixing, you're good at this. But the overbearing of watching those 4 things I just said, and it invades your space, and it causes you to charge up and to boil like a boiling pot of water. And when that happens, you deprive. And when you start to feel very deprived, then there's this anger buildup. So R2D, right wrist, second position, nice and deep. Okay. Looking at the rooms, let me make sure that I didn't miss anything in TikTok. I'm going to go over here, and then I go up there. So got that done. I'm going to just make sure I'm not missing anything here. All right, nobody else is paid. I'm going to come over to, okay, you asked, so Weidman, are you still here? Because like I said, if you're not here, I don't want to just do a reading for nothing. I don't want to waste that part. So if you're still here, let me know. And I'm going to give it a go regardless of, hopefully you get that last name so your friend can benefit, and we'll go from there. There's Weidman. Gotcha. Okay. So let me see. Did I say that can I have a reading? Have I read you before? I'm looking, I'm not sure. I don't feel like I have, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Shakita Weidman, what I'm hearing, now it's interesting. They're saying I'm not feeling, I'm hearing. What I'm hearing, and I feel like this is what you do, is you hear people talk that they long for things. I long for this. I long for that. I long. I've read to you once. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. But I feel this, I'm an object. I'm an object. Okay. Do you understand? I'm an object. And they say you need to understand this. But I'm petrified to be anything more, like to get more of that attention. So you do stand back and hear. I'm like, tell me more. Because I don't want to be manipulated. I'm watching your younger self. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want that. I don't like that invading energy of people manipulating. I don't want that. That's all I know what relationships are, is I watch this happen. And I just don't want that. So can you identify with that part of yourself? I just don't want that. Because I hear how they guilt. And you're starting to wake up where some people don't know that it's guilt. I'm so disappointed in you. Okay. And these guilts, yes. Okay. But you're standing back and observing at the same time, your body's going, oh my God, it's happening to me, because your brain knows no difference. Your body's asking to be self-soothed when you watch these guilt trips, because your body thinks it's happening to you, even though you're watching it and you're hearing it. So begin to notice how the body's like going, oh, run for the hills. You need to begin to notice. So how it is you're going to start losing power to what you hear as far as the guilt trips. When you hear guilt trip, oh, your body's losing power. No, I want you to measure that. And then I want you to take in charge. And I want you to grab the right wrist, go to the third position. Find it by laying your 3 fingers. Get down there, nice and soft. And I want you to begin to feel how the body knows this. Put on a scale from 0 to 10. I hear the guilt tripping. This is how I would respond. After you measure that, sit there. Just sit there. Give it 2 to 5 minutes. And what's going to happen is you're going to start noticing your body's going to be relaxing. Your thoughts and your emotions are going to change for the better. You got it? I'm not sure what free pools are. I do give a free reading. If you're new, I give you 2. And I'm looking for, let me see, am I good there? I'm looking good there. Did I ever get back? Did Stephanie Engelsman ever get back with me? I'll wait until she comes back. So Crystal, so you're saying you want a reading? If that's what I'm hearing, Crystal. That you wanted a reading. There she is. Okay, Steph. All right, go heal, Weidman, because people are important. You're important, and you got to pull that out. You can do this. Stephanie, here we go. Like I said, get that last name for me. Stephanie, what I've got here is that there's a contemplation. I ask you. I sit and I think about what I talk about. I sit in there and I rehash. I sit there and contemplate. I sit there and contemplate. That's where my mind goes the most. And I said, what are you doing? I'm judging it. So you're judging what you say. Yeah. So are you judging anything they say? Not necessarily. It's about how I judge myself. I said, okay. And then I'm up and down. Did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? So then there's a vacillation that's going in and out, and you start to actually get yourself emotionally exhausted. Does this make sense to you? You are so used to doing it. I don't know if you're aware of your mind, but your body feels like an alarm. And there seems to be grief, undue grief that you don't need to do. Yes. Okay. So it's like you have to fill the quota of grief. I have to get to a certain amount of grief before I can go anywhere else. And I said, oh, when did you develop this? About 6 years old. And my soul attraction is that I bring in the fact that I have to do this grief, this thinking. And I keep hearing, when I grow up, it was either praise, reward, or punishment. And if I said something wrong, then I would get this bitterness, anger, and disappointment aimed at me from what I can hear. And I didn't like it. So I would deprive myself. Okay, before you go any further, this is a lot to heal. Where do you want her to begin? Well, if she can begin to R2S and begin to feel that self, I can't, I shouldn't, I couldn't, I can't, so the I can'ts is what they want you to address. And I said, okay, where would you want her to hold? So they want you to take your right wrist and they want you to hold, find the second position by 2 fingers. Come down here, push your thumb in deep, make the letter C by putting your pointer finger in the palm, wrap these 3 around, grab the top, let it drop. And I want you to let the body do the healing. I need you to focus on your health. What did I just say? All of these things. I can't. Well, I shouldn't have said that. I can't say that. I shouldn't. I want you to hear how you're stuck in this loop. This is what we call a hell loop. But even though it sounds like it's not really bad, but the thing is the body says we got work to do. Your soul says we got things to do. But I feel this thoughts just keep going. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay. Right wrist, second position, nice and deep. And sit there and measure it out to 10. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And just sit there. And yeah. And just let the body do the healing. And you'll start breaking that loop. Okay. And then when you start seeing it, it's going to happen again. Sit there. Now, even if it happens and then 3 hours later, you're like, God bless it. Don't worry. It's after the fact. But you can go and begin to heal it right then and there to cut the loop, change the loop, and move forward. And you'll train your brain and your body because it's already a program, but you're breaking the program so it'll stop. Okay, you just keep jumping back on like this. Now, if it needs a new point, you can make an appointment with me. You can come on live. You can keep coming back and getting your 1 minutes. We can get there. We can do healings together. You got this? Or you can come into Tribal and join me there where we do really intensive learning and healing and really change things on a deeper level for you. We do that. Okay. Alicia. All right, Miss Alicia. Here we go. Oops, hold on. Alicia. Here we go. Garcia. That way. So they're pointing to the word way. It's way like, and they're saying, notice the words that there's a conclusion. They're trying to find something that's you're trying to make a connection. And what's happening is that I feel that the reason like this pattern of thinking, it does the invading of lofty energy from what? You, others, from you. So you bring this story in again and again. And you bring this story in again and again. And there's a compulsion that you want to do, but you can't stop the guilt tripping. You can't stop the guilt tripping. So I want you to hold left wrist, first position, nice and soft. Okay. I want you to sit there and begin to hear the stages. Oh, yeah. And then measure it, stay there, and to heal it out. Because, yeah, that's what I'm feeling. They're saying she'll hear the words. Yes. I do see you, Nicole Johnson. I read you. I haven't seen those comments. If they're way, way up there, it was way before. See, like I see Tia Wells, but I didn't see if she asked if she wanted a reading. So I only seen, some comments. So Nicole, did you want a reading? And Stephanie, yes. What is Tribal? Okay, so you get 4 videos a month. Promised 1 hour. Last week, it's always on a Tuesday or for me in South Australia, Wednesday night or so for everybody else in US and Canada. But we went 3 hours. And why? Because yes, I'm not charging a lot, but you have an opportunity to heal yourself, help heal, learn, grow, and physically begin to change those chakras, those levels of consciousness. You can really move yourself in a different way of being. Okay. You can do this. And so people come in the room, I'm sitting there and I will start to come up with the subject. We'll talk about it. We'll begin to heal it. We'll walk through, hold points until you get down to 0. We do our best. And if you don't get to 0, we help you get to heal it out afterwards. It is a very supportive. You don't have to hang and create friends. You're coming there for you. This is a very slow pace versus the other stuff that we do. Okay. I've had my free reading before. Today? Did I do one today? Judy for Nicole? Because you can have more. Every time you come on, every time there's a new show, you can have your free reading. Every time. It's up to you. And Amber, sorry. Okay, so if you're looking for a free reading, let me know. Where am I missing something here? No, I think I got, okay. Just if you, okay, I can't seem to refresh this one. So if you haven't got your reading and you would like one, just say reading, please. And I will do so. I'm looking over into TikTok. It's awfully quiet in there right now. But that's good. Everything's good. I got a lot of likes and loves. You're new here. Wonderful. And yep, it's free. Gotcha. So guess what? Because I've never read you, you don't get 1 minute, you get 2. And so for Elena, here we go. So what I got is I see a phobia. Now a phobia involves fear, but it has to do with your sensory system. And they're saying that the phobia begins to build, and it's based on how you cope with yourself and love. So when love happens, how do you cope? And they said that there'll be times that you will go into going, oh, I don't think they didn't respond, so then you put meaning to that particular story, even though there's just a conclusion or you coming to that answer, because that's the way you used to self-soothe. Now, the phobia that comes in, they said it has to do with how you hear, and it's usually the volume of how people use this. Okay, so it's the way you hear. And they said when you're stressed, it affects you more. And it causes you to lose confidence. And so I would tell you the best thing to do, there's several things we can help you do, but what you can do is that if you can begin to realize that you're more of an audio person, you could actually start to put, don't have to push your earplugs in, just put some earplugs in there, okay, just really soft. And it'll tone and change the way people talk. And your filter will be different. Or if you've heard something and it sticks in, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it causes a phobe. Then what happens is you can cover one ear and kind of measure, oh my God, this is what I hear. It's a 10. You can then say, okay, remove, transcend, let it go. Switch over, listen and measure here. It's not really a 10. Over here, it's like a 9. Switch again. It's the switching and bringing your awareness to each ear. So you don't need to listen here. You bring all of your attention here. You measure that, and you're going to start noticing, remove, transcend, and let go. You listen to this one. You keep doing it until it changes down to 0. So it stops affecting you. Do you understand? And if not, Judy, put up my website, and the name of it is Sensory Accessing. Hello, Haley. Would you like a read? Let me know. And if you do, and I don't know, I don't think I've read Haley before. Have I? Amy's in this room. Amy, have I ever read Haley before? Let me know. I don't think I have. I don't know. Oh, no, not today. Okay, Nicole, I don't know if it was free reading each show. Yes, each show you get a free reading. So you come, you watch, you say, yes, I want one. And yes, but know if I should get my puppy. Oh, okay, let me look. All right, Spirit, is everything in alignment to get this puppy? Okay, so it's not a definite yes, because what I've got is that how you feel toward yourself, you want it. But habitually, they're saying there's a habit with animals. And sometimes, and it's, did you ever have an animal that was too needy? And like you go, oh, I just don't have time for this. I want an animal. Yes, I wanted to fill that space, but, oh. So you have to ask yourself, because if you have that, then I'd say heal that out first, because then you won't be able to give back to the puppy what you love. Now, other than that, yes, go get it. So if you wanted to, that makes sense to you, and you may not be aware that you have that pattern. Okay. But if you do have it, you get the puppy and you do feel this, then they're saying you can start correcting that by doing R2S, right wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay. You have 2 miniature schnauzers already. And do you have enough energy for all of the pets? Because when I started to have kids, Spirit kept telling me, make sure you don't have too many. Make sure you have enough energy for them. And I'm like, okay, 2's enough. I didn't have any more energy to expend. So 2's enough. Now, again, how do you respond to the animals you already have? Is it too much, not enough? Because I asked, I said, do you want this to fill in a space? They go, no, I just want, I love, but it's towards myself. Okay, so again, it's looking deep at a certain feeling. Yes, I feel like it's the right time. I do too. And when, like I said, if you get it, just become aware of those little things that that need to be addressed. That's all. You may not have any issues. You may find that you have enough energy. And I feel like this is a form of a test for you. We'll see. Oh, but they're adorable. Okay. Who else did I say I wanted to read? Amber. Miss Amber. Miss Amber, what I'm seeing is what? They're pointing to the word ache. Inefficient. And I have these mannerisms that just come in and they start kicking my ass. If you're aware of these mannerisms that come in and causes you to block having confidence and to ache, then I think you're ready to notice how much that part of you is hooked into that. And I want you to hold L1D, left wrist, first position deep. Okay. Push and hold on it and just feel it. Notice what anything I says, if it makes any sense to you, Amber, because it's not that it's about your heart being crushed. You're not ready to look at that. You're looking at the buildup or that sits there, the behavior just before. But if you can notice when you're holding it that, oh my God, I can't be confident because I don't want my heart crushed, then good, because we want you to go in and start healing that out. Okay. I'd love to see a pic. Yes, thank you. Hey, Miss Haley, it says, yes, you have. Yes, last week. Is that yes, you want a reading? Yes. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to give you, Miss Haley. So. Are you feeling so? No. Yes and no. So I'm looking at so, but it's like also you feel nothing. So do you feel nothing? There's something there. I'm not sure what this is because it's not all the time. It's something about, it's about making a decision whether I got to keep something or get rid of something. And if I got rid of something before it's too soon, then that's going to create a low self-esteem. And they said, sometimes I just feel like I need to procrastinate so that I can't go anywhere. It's just, I have to. I hope if that makes any sense to you, because notice how they got there, then right wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay. Because your body is trying to tell you too many reactions, too many things. So R2S. Okay. Just sit there and measure it and let it get healed out to 0, okay? Yes, okay, wonderful. Now, I'm going to look to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I believe I need to redo this. I'm going to go towards the rooms one more time and ask if anybody else wants a reading. And if you've been read before, that's fine. I'll read you again, but you just get 1 minute. It's not a big deal. 1 minute, you can get a lot of good stuff. I'm just looking. Yeah, there are timestamps if you want to watch it again because it is a healing show. TikTok doesn't have it available, but on my YouTube it is, and on the TikTok you don't get it, so I put it on Facebook on my fan page, Medicine Woman Solution, and then you can get there. Okay. All right, I'll look at that in just a second. And Gensational. Oh, yes, you can have one. Before I read that, Amber says, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't get to the manager's position. Oh, okay. And I've been pretty hard on myself about it. I was late for work today. For some reason, I instantly went into this must be a sign I'm supposed to be doing something else in my life. Gotcha. Okay, so there is a particular pattern. And if I look at that, is that you still want her to get, yeah. So what I gave you, keep on working on that. But I do, Amber, because you shared out a lot and you've really been very supportive. What I want to do is I want to say, ask the soul, why didn't you get that manager's position? It is like where you're meant to feel that part of why you didn't get it. It's that helplessness of why you didn't get it, because that is where your energy of identification has been sitting, if that makes any sense. And you're welcome, Haley. So sensational. Yes. For my birthday today. Oh, well, happy birthday. Okay. So Spirit, what now in this case, do you want something to heal? No, I want something good. Okay. So I'm going to check right here real quick. First thing that we're going to see is this card that pops up. Ooh, it's about family. How are you feeling with your family? They said that as the family goes along, it's about hello from heaven. You got some beautiful people from the other side are coming through and saying hello. There's 3 people here. Hello, hello, hello. And they said that you have, like part of your birthday gift has to do with some ancestral wisdom. So they said if you could just sit there and just allow yourself to just breathe in and out. I'm watching you blow, like making a wish, blowing out a candle. And all of a sudden, you'll be able to allow yourself to just take a moment and notice the colors that come in from your ancestral wisdom. Just begin to feel this. They, so you got 3 cards. So they said, but go one more step further, because they said you'll find a lot of your ancestral wisdom is hiding behind a mask that you've been working in. And just know that your family on the loved ones on the other side want you to find it. And how you're going to consider family may not be blood, but it could be friends. Happy birthday to you. Amber says, yes, exactly. Thank you. I will catch your, yes, you can watch the replay anytime. Mary Gardner, can you ask a question? I think I gave you a reading, but I am curious about your question. Let me see what it is. And if Spirit is so inclined to want to read it, it will. And I just screwed up my cards. So give me a second to separate my cards. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate you. I love your work. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm curious about this other person. So I'm just going to say this person's name. We're going to say Matthew. So Matthew, what I'd like you to do is, because of this anxiety, because I've never read you before, I'm going to give you a free read. And what we're going to do is those emotions, and you're petrified of those emotions. And I'm looking at the anxiety. And what we're going to do is we're going to notice that, measure it. Bad anxiety. So you're going to take the right wrist. Notice that it's right here. I want you to focus on it. You're going to take your hand, slide it, palm, turn it, and slide the back of the hand, turn it, palm. You're going to do that 12 times. Okay, 12 times. And then when you're done, you're going to take and you're going to push in and then just start to massage. Notice just, okay, bad anxiety, bad anxiety, bad anxiety, bad anxiety. And I want you then to notice, do I have a belly button? Do I have a belly button? God, yeah, I got a freaking belly button. What a dumb question. Begin to notice, do I got toenails? Well, yeah. I want you to change your awareness. Now, as that's happening, liver, we're going to have you go to the right side, So go down, grab your right foot, and you're going to take, then follow the big toe and the second toe, follow the 2 bones up until you get to the top and fall into a hole. Again, taking your hand, palm, and the back of the hand, palm, back of the hand. Do it over that point 12 times and then push in and then rub. Don't slide, push in and rub. Now we're going to unlock one more thing, because the body keeps repeating this particular fear. So we want to go to the right again and go down into, you get into the inside of the leg. So follow your big toe, find your ankle bone. Behind the ankle bone is a point. And again, to unlock it, we're going to use our palm and the back of the hand. Do that 12 times. And you're going to push and rub. Anything else to get rid of this bad anxiety? 4. I got one more. Okay. And so if you're a woman, don't do this if you're pregnant. But otherwise, if you're following along, I want you to find your right hand, go to the two bones, slide them together, fall into a hole, and then just take, and you can turn it this way. And you're going to have to unlock this one because same shit, different day keeps happening. And you're repeating something that happened when you're little. You're going to then push in, rub 30 times on each point, and your hand slide it across 12 times. And the little quick thing about why this anxiety is because your 2-year-old self is got an active memory. So your 2-year-old self, your body is reactivating this, and your body is doing all of the program because you couldn't cope with what happened at 2 years old. And it's the emotions that, the thoughts they couldn't control. And when you get ready to be able to take care of that, you take your left wrist and you're going to find the third position, and you're going to push in deep, and you're going to hold it there. And I want you to just breathe out how the body knows what anxiety is. Just sit there and breathe it out. Okay. Do the rubs first and using your hand, and then get to this. Okay. All right. Let me look to the room. Oh, so Mary says, hey, I've been scammed before. Will I get a puppy soon? And the reason why your soul is why you were scammed before is because that you believe so strongly, but then you attract yourself to haughty energy. Somebody that's, go look at the word. It's HAUGHTINESS, and it's about territorial. I don't really feel that your energy can claim your energy. You can't take and claim what it was meant to be for you. So then you'll sit there and you'll vacillate in this guilt tripping to yourself, and or other people will hear what you did and use their arrogance on you. But there's always this impending doom. So I keep watching you repeat something at 4 years old. So in order to help you get your dog, go left wrist, second position, nice and deep. And that's from Mary Gardner. And the answer then becomes, if you didn't heal that, would you get the puppy soon? No, because you're conditioned to have to respond this way. But if you start to heal it out, would you get the puppy? Yes, because then you will feel towards yourself that you can have this without having someone tell you, no, 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 no. Which is kind of what happened when you were little. Amy says she knocks my socks off every time, and I don't wear socks. You can't find them. All right. Now, if you got questions about certain things, it's not that you don't get a read or any of that. It's just there you can get some soul advice. You can get we can talk about a lot of things. That's what we can do. You can really allow yourself to be in a different situation. You really can. Yeah. Now, yes. Okay. I got to just take my mental note when I see that. All right. Like I said, thank you for the stars. If you're in Facebook land, your name goes, if you send stars, your name goes into a drawing for a chance to win 8 minutes on the air with me to get a healing or a reading. And this is the way that I like to contribute back. For those that have paid today, your name went into a reading for a chance to win 30 minutes with me off the air. And those that have brought a friend, if you can get Helen's name, that'd be great. Her name can go into a drawing for a chance to win 10 minutes with me. And because you've shared out, and Facebook lets me know that you shared, okay? And I'm trying to figure out what to do for TikTok. But if Facebook lets me know that you shared, then you get a chance to win a 15-minute on the air. Now, sometimes you share and you can't quite see it, but if you do a mention at Medicine Woman Solution, what happens is that once I see the mention, I can put you in a drawing for 8 minutes. Now, if I see that you shared my video, then what happens is that you can also have a mention and a shared. You get your name in twice, 2 different things. You measure your growth upon how you were. And Amy has gone back 3 years ago and noticed that she's done a difference. She's like, I'm not the same person, and I can feel my growth. I'm not doing my repeated patterns. I don't have to. And that's the best part. You don't have to. So thank you all for coming today. I'm just looking to see if there's anybody else that wants to read before I go. This is your chance just before I go. If you've got a particular question you ask, I will help you understand how to heal it, or what is your soul trying to tell you? Why is this shit happening to me? And if you're in worry and fear, we got a point for you. If you're in anxiety, we got a point for you. We can help. Okay? We can help. All right. So I'm just going to double check one more time, and then we'll call it a day. And then I will be here next Sunday, Monday. And we do 2 shows on that day. And then we do 1 show, which is this Thursday here. Haley, will you be okay on your own? Now, your fear is going to tell you no. Just going to tell you no most of the time. Okay. And I feel like that you, when we take these older generations, old paradigms, they're still here. One of the things that I think this is important for Nicole too. So stick around just for a moment. As I was growing up, part of the old paradigm was simply, how do you want to put it? Fear that you can't do it. The moment you give up financial freedom, or you've never discovered financial freedom, then there's this fear that you cannot do it on your own. I won't be able to survive out there. And it doesn't help right now out in a world where it's telling you that the cost of living is that you can't really do it on your own. But what I've noticed is that you'll start to readjust with what is being handed to you. And you have it built into you to survive more ways than one. And once you start to change those old beliefs that the next logical step is you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and this. And my mother had 5 kids, and she had to leave an abusive husband. And as she left, she was scared shitless that she wouldn't be, because she didn't know anything about the state helping her take care of the kids. So she found a job. She escaped. She got out. And when she did that, that was her main thinking. I can't do this. I can't do this. But she did. And you will 100% usually survive it, no matter what you have to go through. And so then the question then becomes, will you be okay on your own? And yes, let me tell you, there's a certain amount of freedom. See, this is why she goes, Haley says, same with my mom, but she didn't leave. See, this is why it's not even your program. It's more of an epigenetic program to believe with fear that you can't do it on your own. And all I can tell you is you got to start getting it out of your heart, because worry and fear is your master, and that controls you. If you can get that under control, so L1D, so you understand, you can literally begin to say, thank you, Spirit, for showing me how to do it. We've cut that out, but we have to call it back now. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me. Opportunities will start popping. You will be able to figure out how to do it. Now, if fear tries to tell you how to do it, you're going to just cause yourself more issues. But if you say, okay, thank you, Spirit. So if you're healing out the shit out of your heart, you're saying, thank you, Spirit, for showing me. And make it so that you have a relationship, and you're going to build this up with Spirit, that it's loud, that you know it came from Spirit. Okay. If you're beginning to worry, always make sure you do your best to hold L1D, because let me tell you, there's other points for it, but get your heart back into alignment with you. Get your heart back in alignment with you so you can move out of the worry. You don't have to have it. So once you start to say, thank you, Spirit, for taking care of me, thank you, Spirit, for showing me, then your fear can't talk as loud. You start taking and tapping it out using emotional freedom technique, a little OMG when you see it, and it will shut up. And then you can say, okay, thank you. I'm thank you for the help. And what happens is then you're going to start seeing information come out of nowhere, and you'll start drawing to you about how to do it. It's that trust and faith that you build with your higher consciousness. And when you do this, you will be taken care of every time, and you'll get into a higher alignment of being very healthy. Okay. Now, if you're feeling those things, understand you are taking somebody else's belief and borrowing it as your own. It resonates with you. It's what I saw as a kid. It's all that I know. So when you have one parameter, you can't see your way to get out. You only see one side. Okay. How do I know I've gone there from here if I haven't left here? So we have to create different barriers. This has been happening for me. It's amazing. Yes, keep doing it. Nicole, keep doing it. Because once you start to build that relationship and you calm down the negative emotions and the fear doesn't become your control anymore. When you start getting parameters of different experiences, you can go back and go, oh, wait. And then there are epiphanies that'll start popping. The benefits to healing out that fear and worry, God, self-esteem rises. You get to move forward. You get to make decisions. You get to see things other people can't do. And you become very much stronger in who you are. You don't have to run around doing shit. Shame and guilt is what I was trying to say. Hey, maybe that's where shit came from. Shame and guilt. Nicole says, my fear and anger are very diluted now. Yay! Keep it going. Keep it going. You don't need to have, again, when it comes up, it's okay. But these are end results from past experiences that keep coming in and keep running your life. You should be in charge of this. Take your power off, reclaim who you are, calm down the littles, reparent them, self-soothe, learning tools you never had. And if the fear is trying to tell you something, oh my God, measure it. You'll be surprised once you start balancing your brain. Yeah, I don't have to believe that. I just wrote it. I've seen it. It's a possibility. It doesn't mean that it has to. It's just a possibility. Now, if you understand that, and if this is 5D, 5D is the potential of all things, which means it is the fifth dimension is the quantum field of potential, meaning you have endless answers. You can go down the line of fear or you can go down the line of creativity. But once you start getting that good stuff, put down the shit, reclaim your power. And you may have to pick up, take free tools at my website. But when you pick up your power and you're like, I'm spilled, oh my God. Oh, I'm going to take back that pink. I'm going to take back me. As you begin to do this, you can remove guilt and shame off yourself. And you can then start beginning to see something different. And you can start putting back the shit shows. You're like, I want some more of that joy. Now, when I tell people to heal and they get down to what's called the giggle factor, okay, your finger goes in your belly button and your forehead. And after you've done healing, even do this, even if you didn't do healing. I'm not kidding. Do it anytime. Do it all the time. This creates a shield around you so the shit shows of others don't have to seep in. You don't have to absorb anymore. You can learn how to observe. You can even go further and you can learn how to be a bystander and not have it. It'll just be there, but you won't have to respond to it. Put your finger in your belly button, your forehead, push in, lift up, smile, chin up, smile. Your body starts creating happy chemical peptides. Your aura starts to connect the governing and the central, and then it starts to buff it out. And then if you can feel the giggles and you wait, and when the giggles come on, all of a sudden, boom, you just start to bring it in. Oh, that was good. You take your awareness and you start to just feel it. Bring it in to your head, to your toes, and allow yourself to just absorb this. Why? Because your nervous system needs love. And if you feel like, okay, so Haley's just going to go out and all of a sudden, I got to go out in the world. Put your hands on your hip. What happens is the body already knows posture. The body posture starts producing, yes, you can do this. Superman woman stance is like, you can do this. You can do this. It starts to produce a positive chemical peptides that support you on your road of wherever you're going. So if you have to go into a meeting, until you feel the giggle, and you let it in, and then you hold it. If you see worry coming, tap it out or OMG it. You've got this. No more do we have to be victims. No more. You got it? Awesome. You guys are wonderful. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to just double check. Now I think I'm going to say goodbye and look back over here for those. Yep, no more spade. That's good. All right, we'll do that. Thank you so much. Now remember, the more you stick with me, hashtag resolve to evolve, hashtag you can heal that, hashtag heal instead of deal, and hashtag feel it to heal it. And this long one, hashtag when in doubt, grab a tool, heal it out. You will be so thankful you did. When you allow yourself to know this, I already see you blessed. So stay blessed and happy healing. And for all of you in YouTube land, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day, your life. Be you, be happy. Okay. And for you in